Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hobby Night. I know that I'm a smidge.
1 minute late.
I'm 1 minute late.
Shame!
Shame on me!
Great shame on you!
One of these days you're gonna smack right on the pokey ear part and you're gonna pop it. That's
Oh,
my
that's so sad.
that's my worry. That's my worry every time you bring out the sting bat. Alright guys, hello to everybody in chat. Hammy-chan, Neo in Wonderland, Star Fury 0000001. Sorry, I probably put too many zeros there first time, that's why I fixed it. Ashley and Robert, it's lovely to see you. Oh. Let me share this on my Discord. That would be good. I shared it everywhere else. Almost forgot there. At everyone. Because I get to shout at everybody. Everyone. If I could type correctly, that'd be great. I'm live! Watching. I don't know why I did that in such an awkward voice. I'm so sorry. I'm live watching the GW preview. Join me. And then shove the link in there. Boop. There we go. There we go. There we go. I did my obligations. I did it, everybody. I did it. Hello, Matthew. It's lovely to see you. Hello, everybody. Okay, so today, guess what? We actually get to watch this preview on YouTube instead of Twitch, which means I think we won't have any ads. Fingers crossed. Which will be great, which I'm very, very excited for. I actually have no idea what to expect at this preview. I did decide to pull up the Warhammer community tab because I know there are some interesting things to talk about right now, specifically involving Horus Heresy. Because I know people are... And Old World, I guess. It's a combination of Old World, Horus Heresy, and let's say Legacy is what everybody has been chatting about recently online when it comes to Games Workshop. It's the latest thing GW has done to piss everybody off. And I figured we could probably talk a little bit about that if you all wanted to. You want more Terminators? We all want more Terminators. How look at them. I mean, just look at these beautiful... Those aren't Terminators. Hold on. There they are. Look at them. They're so pretty. Oh, look. I didn't realize I clicked on the Legacy article. Well, I said we were going to talk about it. It's Votann for you? You want Votann? Heck yeah, that'd be really cool. You want Deathwatch Necron Kill Team? Ooh, a Deathwatch Necron Kill Team box set would be very, very cool. Corsair Vipers and Jetpacks. I like it. I like it. Ooh, I do enjoy that. Yeah, I'm very excited for this show. They're calling it the Big Summer Preview Show, so hopefully we'll get a lot of good stuff. I'm assuming this is going to tease us into whatever's going to be coming out for the holiday season. Which, I don't really know. Do you guys think we're close enough to finally getting a potential 11th edition?
Yeah, that's a summer thing, normally.
It normally is. That's what I thought. But I feel like everybody is just like, please, just do it. Just do it, GW. Who are we waiting on? I guess that's the big question, is who are we waiting on when it comes to codexes for 10th ed that haven't got them? Is there any specific news? Because I know we've gotten like... Oh yeah, the new combat patrols did come out. I do like, or they're not come out, but they've been announced. And I do like the look of the Tyranid one, I will admit. If this link would open. There we go. The Space Wolves do look cool, because they got all their new sculpts. And they are beautiful. Look at how furry they are. Look at all their angry Viking faces. Let's see, is this specifically... Black Templar, okay. I should have known that. I should have seen the Templar symbol. I just wasn't looking at their pauldrons. 11E can't come soon enough. I know, I feel like that's what everybody's feeling. A new 40k Primarch? Like a brand new one or one coming back? Like you want Lehman Russ to show up finally? That would be wild. That would be wild. I could see, I mean, who are the two most thought to come back right now? Russ and... Because we got the Lion back. Is the Khan's not around, right? And
yeah, he's in the Eye of Terror.
Oh, is he also in the Eye of Terror?
Yeah.
Okay, so Khan could come back then. Dude, imagine them. They're like, no, we're not gonna. Even though we just gave the Space Wolves all this other cool new stuff because their codex just came out or whatever it was a couple months ago. Imagine them being like, no, we're not actually going to give you Leman Russ. Here's the con. He's returned from the war. Rogel Dorn,
We don't know
we don't know what happened to him, right?
So he
like,
could come back.
I guess he could come back. I'm still in favor of how Texas Beach handled it, and I really do want him to just come back as like a Centurion that's been on Terra for ages, and he's just been kind of like asleep basically inside of it, and then he wakes up and he's around. It'd be so funny. They'll never do that. They'll never do that. That's not how it's gonna happen. He'll come back in some much more majestic way than that if he does. Ooh, Logar coming back would be very cool. Logar coming back would be sick. I feel like the Chaos Lords are getting spoiled, though. Like, we have all of our Primarchs for the most part. Yeah, actually, all of the 4 major Primarchs are alive and well and kicking and doing shit. And we have cool models of them. Because we have Angron. We just got Fulgrim, and Angron's relatively new too, because World Eaters got theirs like just before Fulgrim came out.
Magnus and
yeah, and then we've had Magnus and Mortarion for ages. So yeah, I guess like Chaos is spoiled for Primarchs. Maybe we do need some. I mean, Logar coming back though would be very sick. He never demonized, did he? Like, did he turn into a demon Primarch?
I think so.
Did he? Okay.
I know they're very
oh my god. Listen, we all want him to come back, but he's canonically dead. Okay? Can Chaos Cultists guess who I'm talking about?
Your mother.
Wow! Not at all true at all. It's Bird Boy. Yes, he is demonic. Okay. Logar chased by Leman Russ would be cool. Although Logar chased by Lemon Russ I like even more. I know that's probably an autocorrect. It's totally fine. I just thought it was cute that it said that. Alright, so we got the Black Templar. They're looking sick. Look at my Tyranid babies, though. Look at them. Look how chonky these boys are. I love it. I doubt this striation pattern is actually present on the model at all. I'm pretty sure that's just like them painting it on there, but I do enjoy it. It makes them look so much sillier. It's like they actually have armor on and it's not their chitin. It's just like they took additional pieces of fallen Tyranids and stuck that onto their existing bodies. That's what it looks like to me, and I kind of love it. They're goofy as hell, and I love it. Although I do miss the really ooh, sorry, I almost burped there, like really loudly in your ears. They are not as derp as the OG like Rogue Trader ones, but they're still cute. I also like the floaty boys in the back. They're fun. No, I don't think I looked at the Grey Knights. Ooh. That's cool. Is this a named character?
Khal Drogo?
Garan? Is that what this banner says? Garran? No, left-handed dragon. We did not. You have not missed anything. GW is still counting down. We've got about 20-ish minutes, sub 20 minutes before they begin. We can actually watch it on YouTube, which is exciting, instead of having to go to Twitch. And right now, I'm just looking at the new combat patrols that were announced because the Grey Knights is the horrible one. I mean, it doesn't look that impressive in regards to like what you'd want. Are these old minis?
They're all old.
Well, except for the character guy in the front, right? Wow, you're right. The Dreadnought
painted?
I don't know. I don't think that's Drogo, right?
No, it's not the same head that you painted.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't recognize him. Does it tell me? Okay, well, let's go to this other link where they showed it off. Maybe they give me more information. The Knights of Tyan, yep, that's our boys. A force led by Castellan Crow, okay. So it's...
That's right, Castellan Crow's who you painted, right?
No, I painted Drogo
Oh, okay.
The big, like, I painted their main guy. This guy is I think, the dude leading this unit. I don't recognize the name, but I also don't know Grey Knights, like, at all. So, wait, is even he old? Because, like, I understand the Dreadnought's old. He looks old. These boys all look old. These guys look really old. Like, this stance, that wide, like, bow-legged stance is insanely old looking. Like, that dates them so hard. But he looks new. Well, actually, did they just put a different face on him? Because that is the sword I painted. I have no idea now. I'm so confused. He's not old, but he's not new either. Okay.
It's like, old is a relative term in the Warhammer 40k.
Okay, but these bow-legged boys, I swear, are from, like, 4th ed.
Oh yeah, you were fighting them back when Raven had them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I fought these back when I first got into Warhammer. Are the Terminators as old as these ones, or are they more in his era? 9th or 8th edition? Okay. Are the Terminators 9th or 8th edition? Because they look slightly newer, but not modern.
They're pre-Primaris.
Yeah, no, well... So they would be, like, maybe 7th edition, then, perhaps? Fascinating. Man, Grey Knights get chipped so much. Look how cool and new Tyranids are, the Black Templar are, and the freaking Space Wolves. And then you come down here, and they put them last because they look the lamest. Like, I'm sorry, Grey Knights fans. I'm very, very sorry. I feel, maybe I did paint Castellan Crow. Can you go check and, like, grab him? Because, like, I feel like the sword looks really familiar, but the face does not look familiar at all. Do you think they're as old as the other guys? Good lord. I mean, I guess they do. Their legs are the giveaway. It's that really wide stance. Because, like, you'll notice that they're look how much closer together everybody's legs are. Look how much harder they made it for us all to paint them. At least, you know, one of the benefits of them having their wigs.
It's a different head.
It's a different head. Oh, I put the helmeted head on. Okay, I have painted him.
He's the one that you got sent for the video.
Yes, okay. There he is. Okay, so I have painted him. I just put his helmet on because I said, fuck painting his face. I also didn't do the pattern on his cape because I was lazy. But there he is! With his purple demon sword. That's a fun paint, actually. I really liked using all those metallics. Okay, we figured out, we solved the problem. Grey Knights are given the shit end of the stick by GW. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And in regards to, like, all of the Marines, the Grey Knights are definitely... of the ones produced and given armies, where they have, like, full lists and everything, because... not everybody gets full books. But at least... the thing is, like, I love Grey Knights. I think they're really cool, but my gosh, GW does not support them. And the poor, like... Okay, well, as I was saying, though, before I screwed up the word leg, at least having their legs this wide apart back in the day made painting them way easier. Also getting to their little tabards, as opposed to, like, modernly, where everybody's legs are really, really tight in, and everybody's cloaks are, like... they're just hard to get to. Rawr. I mean, look at even the Space Wolves, because of all those furs between their legs. At least they have slightly wider stances up here. Some of them. They do still kind of do the broad stance. Wow, look at that running pose. I don't think I've seen that before, actually. That knee is up. That's actually pretty cool. They're so energetic. Honestly, these guys kind of make these guys look stiff. Because they're just kind of standing up and they're going more, like, vertical, rather than feeling more like they're rushing horizontally. I'm being really critical right now, because I'm trying to kill time. Grey Knights are very yeah, no, you're right.
Ornamental.
Ornamental, yeah. No, they're very, like, they are totally, like, I kind of agree. They're very ornamental. But the thing is, like, I feel like they haven't, like, I mean, the fact that these guys haven't gotten new models is crazy. Let's see, let's check. We got about less than 15 minutes before they go. I'm expecting about an hour-long preview, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how big this big summer preview actually is. Okay, I actually need to check. Going back to Warhammer community. Oh! What is this? Oh, can we just watch it here? Do they tell me what's coming? I mean, obviously they're giving me silhouettes here. Some sort of caster. Probably Age of Sigmar. That also looks Age of Sigmar, possibly Elf. Because of the braid, the horns, the pointy helmet, and then the spear. Are we getting some... Are we getting some new... Oh my god. They started playing music for us. How lovely. Sorry, I got scared. I was like, what is happening? What? Okay, we're just gonna have that on in the background. Well, maybe, if they continue to play the music for us. We are, however, I wanted to continue looking at this image. Because we got some previews of some things. This looks either Necron-y, Admech-y, or perhaps Dark Admech, which is very cool. Ooh, a new Bjorn model would be nice for the Space Wolves. That would be cool. Do you think that could be what this maybe is? No, he's in a Dreadnought. That's too small to be a Dreadnought, you're right. I don't know, no one said that. I don't actually know. How dare they use music? Arrgh! Yes, how dare they? Let's see. This is either Goblin. This is Goblin. Look at that little hand up, dropping the vial of goo into a larger vial, being held in his other hand, and then there's other vials here that are totally something Goblin. Oh, is the music? Oh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I turned it down. There you go. I reduced it. I had it up for filming earlier. I completely forgot to lower it down. Is it better now? Is it better now? Let me know.
They have delay, Angela.
I know. I'm just waiting. That's why I'm waiting. Okay, good. Perfect. You want the orcs with the Gretchen gun? Do you think that's what, like... maybe something over here is? This definitely looks Admech. Look at that thing there. The cog, the like half cog. So sorry about that, guys. Alright, so we've got some cool stuff. Look, is this what is no, those are just legs that are crossed. I keep looking at this body and being like, it's a snake body. But Fulgrim's already out. I think this might be either Admech or Dark Art Admech. This too. This feels.
It could be Daughters of Cain.
No, this is a little too like. This looks Necron-y or Admech-y.
Oh yeah, that is. You're right.
Yeah.
I would say it's a Cryptek.
You think it's a Cryptek? Okay. What do you think this one is? Because the spindles.
That looks Admech-y to me.
Okay, I can't tell if it's Admech though, or if it's gonna be Dark Admech.
It could be.
I want Dark. I really want more Dark Admech. Blood Bowl rumors? Oh my gosh,
I mean,
yes.
It's Mechadendrites, I'll say that much.
That's definitely true. I mean, this could be Blood Bowl. This could be Blood Bowl. I'm gonna pretend now that this could be Blood Bowl. We could pretend all of it could be Blood Bowl. Let's just pretend everything here is gonna be Blood Bowl. Actually, they're gonna surprise us and they're gonna give me a major Blood Bowl stream. And it's a full announcement of like 12 new teams. It's not actually gonna happen. This one, yeah, it does feel very Necron, doesn't it? Alright, have they actually begun doing anything cool? No, they're just showing flames. Very well. Now, I want to see, like, do they actually give us a list of perhaps what is going to potentially be on this? I actually haven't seen that list. Horus Heresy Roundtable. Here's the preview. Still doesn't give us a list of what's going to be previewed. Oh yeah, has anybody gotten the new Grand Cathay? Because those are out now, right? And how cool are they? Because they look really freaking cool. Hmm. Does this have... This isn't linking to all articles. Yeah, we can watch it on YouTube and Twitch. Great. Oh, right here. Ha ha ha! They just put it in text as a big blob. All right, Warhammer 40k, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, of course. Kill Team, Horus Heresy, Legion Imperialis, that's exciting. Underworlds, and more. Okay, so they don't give us like a full list, but they at least give us some. I'm excited. Hold on, which of these are going to be Underworld? Maybe this is Underworld. Question, Age of Sigmar fans. Do you... Oh, the Necrons are not joining Blood Bowl. They would... I'm really sad that GW doesn't have a 40k version of Blood Bowl where I can have my 40k teams as Blood Bowl teams. Like, you know, I have a team. It's like the farmer team. It's like, or it's a farm themed team for Guild Ball, and that's the only thing I have for it. I've never actually played. I hope Dark Admech get more models. That would be super, super cool. This feels very Age of Sigmar. This one actually feels very Age of Sigmar, and this does too, and this does too. But these could also be Underworlds, because they overlap. You think the Goblin guy is Underworlds, along with the Antlers? That would make me think this one might also be, because I feel like this, with the, oh my god, what do you call this? The, sun... Halo. That's the word. The halo thing behind him with this tall collar.
Mika, Luffy, the sun god.
No, sorry.
The Will of D.
The Will of D. No. Wrong universe. We're in the wrong universe. Oh my god, if we got a Khemri team, like a Tomb King's Blood Bowl team, I would fucking flip my shit.
Surely there used to be one back in the day.
There has to have been skeletons, right?
Let's there was. It was undead, yeah.
Let's see.
Khemri Blood Bowl. Or Tomb Kings,
Tomb King's Blood Bowl team. Okay, this doesn't show me pictures. Go to images. Okay, is this the old one? Oh my god, they're so cute and fat.
I bet they got mummies.
They do have... Yeah, they have two mummies, it kind of looks like. If this is an actual original metal... Oh my god, metal skeleton blood Khemri team. Look how cute they are. Oh my god, they're so derp. He's missing an arm. Are they all... Oh, no, no, his hand is just forward. I see. Foreshortening! Confused me! Oh, they're not even actually painted. Oh, wait, are they resin? No, those are metal. Oh, my God. That is so cool. An unbuilt full metal... Look at their collars! Hold on. Look at their collars! Oh, that's so cool! That's rad. I want a new Khemri team! Oh my god, yes! I do, I need it. Alright. There we go. So you think this guy is potentially Dark Admech? That's fair. That is fair. Oh, I'm excited. Man, and now my hopes are up. If they don't give me a Blood Bowl team, even if it's not Khemri, if they don't give me a new Blood Bowl team, I'm gonna be so sad now. I'll be so sad. Maybe they'll be kind. All right, let's see. They took their countdown away. We've got 4 minutes. We've got 4 minutes, thankfully. So we don't have to wait too much longer. Let's go ahead and full screen this. Oh man, I really hope we get some new Blood Bowl. I mean, the and more could just be like... What else do they have? Aeronautica? It could be an Aeronautica thing. Is that game still supported?
Not really.
Has it just kind of folded into Legion Imperialis?
Yes.
Okay, because like I was like, we know Legion Imperialis is gonna be there. Blood Bowl, or we Gretchen Drone Strike Nottingham. Exactly. See, I would love...
I'm sorry, this is Warhammer Fantasy, so we have to bring in the pigeon clockwork bombs.
You're right. The pigeon clockwork bombs.
I think actually it's a clockwork pigeon bomb, but...
Yes! Clockwork pigeon bombs! Yes! Is that Empire?
Yes.
Yeah! Pen me. I'm like, God, I want that so bad. Also, I miss the goof! I miss the goof from GW's products. They take themselves so seriously now. Like, at least that's the one thing I will give the Grey Knight thing that we were looking at earlier, the Combat Patrol. They have a little bit of the goof stances, so there is a certain charm to it that I actually appreciate for that reason, even though I am sad for them that they have not gotten updated models. Like, GW, what are you doing? They're literally Marines. Give them some new models already. I know. I feel like it's such a shame that GW doesn't miss the goof. I mean, maybe certain people in GW do, but I feel like they're so concerned with growing their audience, getting more mainstream, and of course, making as much money as humanly possible to satisfy their shareholders, that they've just completely dropped that side. And like, Blood Bowl is one of the few places we still get it, and even then, it's still minimal, I feel like, because I feel like they still step back from some of the goofiness, even in Blood Bowl modernly, than they used to. Nuffle isn't brought up enough, is all I'm saying. Just saying. That's true. We do get some in the old world just because they haven't updated those models and they're just reprinting the old ones. Like, which is fine. Like, I appreciate it. Hello, Craig. It's lovely to see you. When do I think Lehman Russ is going to come to you? Lehman Russ is going to be the last thing GW possibly releases for the Space Wolves, and actually the Space Marines, period. Like, knowing them...
Ever?
Ever, yes. They're going to hold him back for as long as humanly possible, just so they can, like, really, really bleed out the Space Wolf players. You think Russ will actually be at the end of the edition? I mean, that would be pretty cool. Him coming back... Dude, you know what I'd actually love? I'd love, since both Russ and the Khan are known to be in the Eye of Terror, I would love for both of them to pop out at the same time. Like, turns out they met up, randomly happened to come across each other because, I don't know, their gene seed called to one another or something nonsense. I don't know, whatever. You can their brotherly love by the power of the Emperor pulled them together and they were able to escape. And that's actually how they got out of the warp, because they needed both of their essences, because they're both Primarchs and they needed their power or whatever to escape out. Like, that would be cool. I feel like you could write that in a more exciting, much more enthralling sort of way than I've described it. But that's like the bold beats of the boys happen to meet up through fate, the Emperor pulling them together, whatever, and then they fight their way out of the Eye of Terror so that they can then meet back up with, is there also a Grey Knight? Or some other, isn't there one other? No, absolutely, he needs to come out on a completely badass bike that's been, like, corrupted by the warp and then purified by the pure energy of the Emperor, drawing him and his brother back together and then bursting out of the warp. That's what I want.
Everybody, and welcome. We are very excited to welcome you today.
I'm going to up them a little bit because I have a feeling they're soft.
My name is Adam Troke. I'm joined by my friend and colleague Eddie Eccles, and it is our delight to host this show.
Yeah, very exciting. We have a big preview today.
There's a lot
There's
going
a
on.
lot of stuff. There's a lot of Warhammer. We've got stuff from all sorts of different settings, from Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, some Horus Heresy in the mix there as well. There's a little bit of something for everybody, it's fair to say.
Yeah, maybe Drago.
Let's talk about how
Or
it's going to work a
Drago?
little bit. If you're new, maybe this is your first Warhammer preview you've joined in. We are your hosts, but we are not.
Are they
alone.
weirdly
We have
glitchy
an
to you
excellent
guys?
Simon Grant sat over there in question corner. Simon, what are you doing today?
He's not.
Hi folks, so welcome to the show. I'm going to be
just a
fielding questions on behalf of Eddie and Adam. So if you do have any questions that you'd like to ask them, please start your question with question in big letters, capital letters at the start.
I think that was supposed to say Simon, and they just had the S and the I for his name.
I saw the Psy. Maybe he goes by Psy.
Maybe he goes by Side.
Simon. We're going to be taking some breaks throughout the sort of proceedings.
Like, do you see how he has
We
lines?
have a lot of content to cover off. We think we're going to be here for between an hour and 90 minutes. if
They're
we
very
go fast.
quiet.
So bear with us and we'll do our best. We're aware the chat is still
that
filling
better?
up. There's people flooding in from around the world. So the first thing I'd like to do is throw a question out there, maybe get you involved, which is let us know where in the world you're from. I do it every time and I always enjoy the answer. And while you start punching in your coordinates, not too specific, I've got a question for you, Eddie. Done any hobby
Yeah,
lately?
okay, it is like a CRT TV.
Yeah, I've been doing
Thank
a little bit
you.
of Horus Heresy hobby.
Very nice. You said you were going to.
I did, and I did. So I've
We're
got
good now on
some
the
white
volume?
scars on my
Okay,
table at the
perfect.
moment. Got them all sprayed up, and I've started painting a jet
always
bike,
quiet.
but using some of the
They're always
Horus
so
Heresy
quiet.
transfers on the side, so it looks very nice.
I don't know why. They have
looking forward to
giant
getting some of those
microphones.
done. I've
in
also
front
got
of
some
them.
Space Wolves. I bought the new Space Wolf box. Like a lot of people,
Oh, did
very
you?
excited by the new Space Wolf army as well.
Very, even as
It's,
a dark
it's a
Angel
lovely,
fan,
it's a
Explain
lovely,
why
lovely
they look
box.
like
I
they're
think
in
that
a
has brought a lot of
CRT
people
TV.
to Fenris. That particular box set.
No
How about
kidding.
yourself? Have been doing
Like, I
anything?
kinda
Well,
like- I
glad you
want them to
asked.
have a
The short
narrative.
answer is yes. I bought myself some new
maybe.
a new kill team. I went for the Hernkin yesterday, and I'm going to have a crack at that. I've not really painted kill team stuff. I've always used things from my main army. The other thing, it's only went to the Throne of Skulls with my good friend Damien O'Byrne, and we brought home a gold medal, which was super fun to play so many games of the Middle-earth Strategy Battle game together with so many lovely. Huge shout out. I met a father and son team who'd flown all the way across to join in from the US, and they're now hiking,
Nice.
backpacking around
So
the
you can go
mountains.
What an
storm
unexpected
TW's
Literally.
main facility when they
So
don't
I
give
hope
me
you
the
get to
Blood
tune
Bowl
in
team that
wherever
I
you are.
want. Excellent match.
It was really
Perfect.
fun. Thank you to all my opponents who played and then thought I wasn't such a
Orange
horrible
World
person to play
made the
with.
cameras.
Always nice. So, Sai, where are people from?
Oh, all over the place. It's wonderful. So we've got folks from
Okay, so he
Australia,
does go by
Canada,
side.
USA, Spain, pretty much all over the globe. Someone's claiming they're even from Caliban. I'm not sure the truth of that one.
Only the very best among us could possibly come from such an estimable place. Awesome. Right. So, as I said before, we've got about 90 minutes worth of like wall-to-wall Warhammer content in this big summer Warhammer preview. We should probably look to begin.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's get
do
stuck in,
it.
shall we?
Get
right,
on with
so,
it, gentlemen. My
Raph,
chat
punch the first
doesn't want to
video.
hear you
Just
chatting.
before we go in, the new guy, he's a little bit peculiar, but just bear with, okay?
Okay, cool.
Hey, all those of you who are wanting Votann. Welcome. Votann. Ooh, that's actually really cool. They're tall. Why are those boys were tall. Were those not tall Votann? Their legs look normal sized. Okay, he's very cool. I love the... Yeah. Oh, because they're mechs. I see.
Just two
Give me
little
a
dudes
Butler
on
and
roads.
Jihad up in here.
What? No.
What
they're fine.
an incredible
they're
set of
fine. It's
reveals
all
for the
cool.
Leagues of
We don't
Votann.
need a Butler
Yeah,
and
so
Jihad,
this is the
though.
largest release for the Leagues of Votann since the initial release of the army. This is a huge expansion, all in plastic for that force. There is new heavy infantry, there's some new artillery,
to
there's
resin.
loads of new really characterful characters to add to the army. There's some new vehicles, all sorts of stuff. So there's the kind of shot of the
Man,
full
they're
army there, but let's
really
take a closer
getting
look
into those
at some
hover
of the
things, aren't they?
specific
I do
models,
like 'em.
specific units to be added into the
Oh,
force. We'll
look at
start
his
with
face. Oh my
so
god,
the
his helmet's
Arcanist
amazing.
Evaluator.
Yeah, so within the Leagues of Votann, they're not afraid of developing technology and expanding their understanding. And so an Arcanist Evaluator is kind of, aside from the ordinary...
Okay, maybe we do actually need a
pinwheels
Butler
or the
and Jihad
warbands
if they
that,
are
operate.
canonically
He's a member
allowed
of the Science
to
Guilds.
tinker.
They're responsible for new technologies, and he brings to battle an experimental weapon in the sort of closing phases of development.
Very cool.
This is a trans.
Very cool that we're getting new Votann.
It's a cool name.
It has
It's
been
got 4
ages.
fire modes, and on the highest one,
Yeah,
it
I was gonna say they got
triggers,
their-
lethal atomic transformations. What that means
True.
Warp
is death.
spiders!
Yeah, so he's taken out his new
True,
experimental weapon basically to the battlefield to
Fair
see
enough.
if it is, as he
Fair
suspects,
enough.
powerful enough to melt Space Marines.
He
tanks
is great.
Or Tyranid
You know
Monsters,
what he
whatever
kind of
happens to
reminds
come
me
up
of?
against.
Pretty much yes to the
Pretty
above.
much yes to
reminds
all of
me
the
of
above.
Dr. Robotnik.
He's not part of the official sort of Leagues of Votann military hierarchy,
Like, it's not
so he doesn't
one-to-one,
join your units
but I
necessarily, but
definitely
he kind of
get
hangs
vibes.
around in your army next to them,
No, that's
and he's got
Votann
kind of lone up
organic
ability if he's near your infantry, that sort of
The
thing.
Eggman.
But a
The
very useful
Eggman
character model
force.
to add into your
Dude,
Leagues
you
of
could
Votann
turn.
force.
I think
And a
you could
nice way
easily
of kind of
turn
showing
Votann
the
into a-
some of the kind of lore
Yeah,
and culture
exactly.
of the army as well for
It's
Leagues of
true.
Votann.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a glimpse behind the sort of the curtain, isn't it? And you can see some really cool things that sort of key into that. He's got these optics on his weapon that you can almost imagine sort of recording the data from the results.
That's a very cool head as well, kind of mad scientist vibe going on.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, there's a separate, a different head that you can have. Which
No,
is
why
holding
would
to
you
laws
use
and
a
just
different
passes some
head?
Health and safety protocols. Then
Absolutely.
that's the way to go.
He needs to have his
next up,
giant
my absolute standout
goggled
favourite. This
eyes
is the
and
thing
his
that made me march into
majestic
Warhammer World yesterday
mad
and buy
scientist
some
fro
Leagues of
showing
Votann
up.
models for myself. The Memnir Strategist.
I do like
he
this
is
guy.
an
I think he's, like,
Ironkin. Those of you
the
who are fans of
coolest-
the
Oh,
League
I
of
love what
Votann
they
will
did on the
understand
map.
that the Ironkin are
Like,
Abominable
obviously they
intelligence.
hand
well,
painted that,
not in
but-
their mind, but
Very
they're
cool.
artificial intelligences which they hold an equal
That
position
explains why
within
we couldn't
Votann
tell if it
society.
was,
There's a CU unit
Yeah,
inside
'cause it's
of
Votann.
each of them.
It was
and that's sort of
Votann.
within that iron dome
Like,
that
it
is
looks
normally his head.
imperial.
The
It does,
first
it
really
did.
cool thing about this model is that you see the little noodly things that are on in the Imperium. You call them mechadendrites, right? These cables that come out of him. Each of those is an additional CU unit. So he is the combined intelligence of multiple Ironkin, essentially, and he uses that to.
So he's the
enormous
intelligence of
effect in terms
multiple
strategy
AI?
and tactics on the battlefield, directing the efforts of the kin around him. It keys into a rule as well, which is known
thought
as yield
we-
points, which we'll
I
talk a
thought
little
we
bit
got-
more about
I
later.
thought we had a war.
And most importantly, he looks
to do away with
amazing.
that.
It's a very, very
Eldari
cool
would not
miniature, isn't it?
approve.
Really characteristic.
No!
I think
They allied with us
also
to stop
got
this
some
bullshit.
spare arms on the front
Yeah,
there,
the
which is holding onto
bonus
his
arms.
holding onto his little data pad. He's tapping away on there, giving orders to all the various kin and Leagues of Votann units across the battlefield. And his main pair of arms he's used to
Well, Brushborn,
to
I'm so
hold in
glad
his
that you were able to get
contemplative
exactly
states, which
what
is
you
the
wanted
exact
out of the
pose
stream.
that I have when I'm considering my movement phase in Warhammer
Exactly.
40,000.
And if you want to dazzle your friends with some knowledge, the array he's got on his back is called a cognitar mantle, and that's where he gets like his extra brain power from. Really sensational. Speaking of Ironkin, these are a new unit.
He does
of
seem to be a
Ironkins. They are
space
called
dwarf
the
tech
Steeljacks.
priest,
2 types of
basically.
metal in one name. Eddie, what's the story?
Yeah, so this is the Ironkin Steeljacks. They are a specialist war, kind of more warrior type of Ironkin. A lot of the Ironkin are fairly sort of helpful. They're kind of
they
default
fill normal civilian roles in society.
Default state is a sort of friendly, affable.
He has nipples.
Helpers
and I
for the
appreciate
Leagues of
that.
Votann for
Thank
kin.
you, GW,
These are a
for
much more
bringing
warlike
nipples back.
programming, so they march out actively into battle,
You
seeking
can't unsee
conflict.
them now.
They
But the
are
things right
in
here,
very large suits of
totally
armor, so
nipples
they
on his
stand kind of
chest.
almost twice the
They
height
are,
of
they are
a kin or
tall.
a League of Votann warrior.
Hello, go for it,
and they
painting.
have
How
got
are
some
you
pretty
doing?
decent weaponry
It's
as
a
well.
beautiful
You can
paint scheme.
kit them out in a variety of different ways.
That
You can either
classic
go
Votann color
combat
scheme, that,
leaning,
like,
this is an example
green
there, where you can have like
verdigris
concussion
color
fists
with,
and
like, the cream and
bolt
then a little
guns,
hint
or
of
you can
red.
go with a
Very pretty.
ranged
I'll bring the
option.
verdigris.
In game terms, they work a little bit
Yeah.
like Wraithguard, I suppose, is the closest approximate. So very durable
I
unit.
assume it's stilts.
Quite powerful
That the
weaponry,
feet-
very
like,
good
the
for doing
calf
things like
is
moving on to an
actually-
objective and trying to hold on to it and
Are they
fighting off
pure
enemy
robots?
Yes!
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, in real terms, heavily armed, heavily armored, extremely dangerous
nippled
unit.
their
You
robots.
can see the leader in
I
the squad
approve.
as you looked at these pictures by the Primarch crest, which sort of rises above his head. There we go in the background. He's got a plasma sword. Guy in the front's got a concussion fist. Great new addition to the Leagues of Votann army, I think it's fair to say. We're not done.
The
There's
Votann
more.
realized we are too
the
short. We
Chthonian
need tall
Earthshaker
creatures to fight for
channels
us.
some really strong energy from that sort of rogue.
I do
trader
actually
era,
already
remember
have a
Mole Mortars
Votann
for
army,
squat
Very well,
technically,
yes.
in
So,
the house. It's not
these
one
are sort
I
of
play, but
inverse
Council
artillery,
just
in
started
that rather
when
than
they
lobbing a
first
shot high above
launched,
the
so we
enemy,
did
they
get the
fire those
Yeah,
mole
yeah,
shells that you can see down at the bottom.
Is it the combat
Deep
patrol? I
into the
thought you got the
ground,
full.
they
I thought
burrow
you
in
got
on the
the-
enemy and emerge in a trench line, in a bunker, and
Was
just
in
blow
Sir
everyone
Box
to
was the
come.
combat.
Each one of these is a
Oh,
really
I
lovely
see.
sort of dire armor in their own right as well. So you can see
okay,
the
these
kin
are
there
actually
working
really
with the
cool
Iron
because
Kin,
I love
loading up
models
the
that
artillery.
end up having
You can
multiple
see one of
figures
them
where
there
they're
with
doing
his little
something
scanner,
with,
almost directing the mole as it kind of buries underground towards the enemy fortifications. Obviously, it's a powerful piece in game. You've got all sorts of nice kind of ways that this will bolster your Leagues of Votann force, which at the moment maybe doesn't have a huge amount of very long range artillery. And yeah, I think it's a great kit, really.
Awesome. Speaking of the bigger models that are inside this launch, we have the Capricus. So the Capricus is one of those kits that makes two things. You can see here the Capricus Defender. We'll show you the Capricus Carrier in a minute. Essentially, it is either a sort of attack vehicle for the Hernkin.
Is there just do you think there's like a stand like behind that leg?
So this is
no, I do
carrier.
too. I think it looks
it's a
super
smaller
cool.
gun. It's got less other weapons on it, and you can see the stowage bag.
I'm just worried what this means for like future Space Marine
whichever
vehicles.
you take. Essentially,
because I'm
this
worried
is
that
enabling your Hernkin to get around from A to B.
Oh no, it totally does. But I'm worried that we're going to go more and more
mobility
hover.
into your Leagues of Votann force.
And I like the
carries 5
like
models, so it works a
trends.
little bit like the other kind of Leagues of Votann transports, where you pick one of your units, can split into 2 groups of 5. 5 of them can ride around in one of these. If you've got 2 of the transports, you can obviously ride them around in 2 of the transports. And as you say, Adam, you can choose between either having the transport option, or you can just have all the guns and have a fast-moving fire support.
So it's got a couple options too.
For me, this is stunning. This is what
Either
made me
lots and
march
lots
off
of guns
to
or true
Warhammer World
transport.
yesterday and buy the Hernkin.
There's some really lovely little touches on this. The stowage bags are really nice at the back. I like that you can build this with 2 Ironkin as well. So if you want an Ironkin pilot and an Ironkin gunner, you can build them like that. Fans of Ironkin generally, there is a lot of Ironkin in this
quite well.
Leagues of
Just
Votann
seeing
release.
that little detail, because that's something that you would see
There's
on tanks
also
as
a
they'd be
new
rolling around.
combat
So like,
patrol
I
for the
love
Leagues of
seeing
Votann
that.
on the
I
way.
wish GW
We're
did
all
that
familiar with
more
combat patrols if
on
we're familiar with
Space Marine
Warhammer
tanks.
40,000. If you're new, let me explain what they do. It's a fantastic way to start an army. Or to bolster an army if you've already got one.
Yeah, it's
This
a
one
flying
really
stick in the
focuses
middle.
on
That's
those
what I
sort of kin bands that
I
make up
assumed
the
it just
main
it
square,
looked
the force,
they
the
shot
hundreds
it
in the
at that
back,
perfect
half,
angle to make
guard in
it
the
look
middle.
like it was actually hovering.
So,
I was like, oh, how are they
it's
doing that?
Just wonderful ingredients to
Oh,
bulk
it's a
out a
stick.
force.
Yeah, there's some really useful units in there as well. Like, you don't tend to see a League of Votann army that doesn't have all of
The
those
ultimate
units.
Yeah, there's no
magic,
wastage
the
there.
So
clear
it's all
acrylic
good stuff.
stick.
A couple of boxes of these, and then a couple of the new units, and you've got an army
You're
basically.
away. Yeah, absolutely so. Now, on to, for many people's opinion, I expect the main event of this release. This is Bury Agneson. Eddie?
So Bury Agneson is the last survivor of
Oh, it's a
Leagues
Tyranid
of
head. I
Votann
was like,
clan,
well,
which
what
has
am I
been
looking at
consumed
here?
by the
He
encroaching
attached a
Tyranid
Tyranid
menace.
head to
He
his-
is known as the Thrice Devoured. A Tyranid monster has actually eaten this guy, but that wasn't enough to keep him down. He clawed his way out of its gullet, climbed his way back out to safety 3 times apparently,
Yep.
And now goes across the
Well, now he just
galaxy,
does
across
it to
the
show
kin
off.
warbands
If he's
as
done
a
it 3
roving
times.
Tyranid killing specialist.
He's just doing it to show
absolutely. He's in terms of specialist, he is an
He was
absolutely
eaten 3
elite
times by a
combat
Tyranid
unit.
and survived.
He's
That's
equipped
some
with
Slayer
that
bullshit.
Dark Star Glaive,
That
which you see there,
is-
which is called Bane. He's pure violence in
Tyranid
melee.
player,
I think you're going to get a lot of this guy in
I am
armies because his
offended,
rules
and I
are
will
very good.
crush
He
you.
is. He's got a great combat stat line, but he's also a lone operative. So
What
you
do I
can
think will
imagine this
come
guy
next?
advancing either on his own or alongside
well,
kind of
probably
behind
get
your
something
forces
Age of
and
Sigmar
swooping
would
in on
probably-
the big
like, 'cause
enemy
if they're
monsters and
starting
stuff
with
that get forward to
40K,
threaten your battle line.
I'm assuming they're
and
going
his
to kind of go
lore
down
really
their
comes
list.
into it. So he's a member of. Well, he's the only
If they
member
don't
now
do
of
Age
an
of Sigmar
organisation
next,
called
I
the
could see
Embered
Horus Heresy,
Aegir Block,
but
which is
I
one of the
feel like
leagues
it's
of
probably
Votann.
AOS.
Literally wiped out down to the very last kin, which is this guy. And so he's so bitter. His whole life is devoted now to just hunting down the Tyranid menace and supporting.
He
other
does
leagues
very
to stop the
clearly
same
have a
thing
Tyranid
happening to him.
fetish. I
And you
completely
see that
agree.
played out on his model.
No,
He's
the
got
blade is
this
super
sort of
cool. I
belt
love how they
buckle,
painted
which
it. That
very
purple
much
tone,
looks like
love
he's sort
it.
of taken some affectations from the Tyranid.
I also love that it has like
looks
the
like
cool
we've been having
sculpted
quite a
base
discussion
with the
about this
Tyranid
Tyranid
bits.
Prime sort of cadaver.
I think it's a
over his
Tyranid
head.
Prime that he's got over the top.
He's
of his head.
actually
There's a
infested
nice little
with
nod in this model as well
Tyranids,
to
and he's secretly Gene Stealer.
there's the idea at some point that the squats were eaten by the Tyranids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Used to-
this guy kind of goes, well, yeah, they were eaten by the Tyranids, but also
That's
they
the problem,
clawed their way
yes.
out again. So
Absolutely.
there is a little bit of truth to that sort of
That's why they clone, don't they?
that outdated
Yeah, I
understanding
think they
maybe of what
clone.
happened to
Yeah,
that.
isn't that how they?
Fantastic. And all this obviously will be supported with Codex Leagues of Votann and all new.
He
Codex
is
for
wearing a
Warhammer
Tyranid, the
40,000,
Bobbins. Yes.
Which contains. This is I've had quite a while to read this week. It's just full of spankingly good lore. It's got great rules and art.
I'm not gonna lie, in the
it
cover
explains all
art,
of the
I'm
new
not
things,
sure if
obviously.
it looks as
In
cool
terms
as
of the
they
rules,
think it
there's
does.
too much to go into in any real detail here. but a thing to cover would be those yield points, which is the
because
sort
like
of
he has the
army-wide
mouth
mechanic
of the
which underpins them.
Tyranid, or like
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
head of
So
the Tyranid,
yield points effectively
draped
changes the
over
way your
top
army
the,
works
like,
over the course
the
of the
thing
game,
that they
and it works
already
in the way
used
that
to sort of
the Leagues of
designate, hey, I'm
Votann
a
approach
leader guy.
acquisition effectively. So
And
early
it
on in the
tends to
game,
have, like, a horse head,
when you
so
haven't
it's
got very
looking
many
a
yield
little
points, you're getting
strange.
bonuses for attacking enemy units on objectives for the most part across your army, and then later on, once you've acquired yield points,
no, this
you
is
get
supposed to be
bonuses
an
for
hour and a
having
half
your own
long
units
show.
on objectives, so they get
So
better
we'll be
at defending
here
them,
for
better bonuses for their
about
own
till
defense,
noon.
that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
it encourages you
Yeah,
to play
noon-
in
noon
that
our
very
time.
sort of acquisition-focused way that the Leagues of Votann work.
And it's a really great mechanic, right? Because it's exactly how you win games of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah.
Early on, you kick people off objectives. Later on, you hold on to the objectives. So,
And
it's
some of the
powerful.
new units that we've shown and some of the units that already exist in the Votann army
That's a
now
good
have
question,
rules that key
Starker.
into
How
that. For example,
did
the Memnir
Make it
strategist
to the center of
just
the
lets you
galaxy.
increase or decrease your yield score by 1 each time.
Yeah.
So really sort of
With subterfuge.
thoughtfully put in so that this guy who's overseeing the total sort of tactical function of your army can just go nudge and help you out.
Yeah.
We should show some of the models.
Let's do it, yeah.
So we've got some in front of us. We're very lucky to be allowed to put our paws on the heavy metal miniatures. So there'll be a bit of sort of scale comparison here, but here you can see this is the Arcanist, and then you've got the Memnir.
The fact
they're like
that these
normal
guys have
Votann
not
sized.
acknowledged
any kin is
their
about the same sort of proportion as
CRTV
those.
effect
And here you can see just how
is driving me
much
insane.
bigger.
Why
the,
is it like
steel
that,
jacks are.
GW?
I think your comparison, that
Especially
you made
when
to
it's not
Terran
like
to
that
Wraith
for
Guard
Psy.
is really quite fair.
Yeah, they're about the
actually.
same size as a Wraith Guard. It's kind of in that ballpark of kind of medium heavy infantry. This is the new artillery piece. It's maybe not like as big as something like an Imperial Guard tank or something like that, but compact, mobile, that sort of thing, fitting in with the aesthetic of the rest of the.
I do
Leagues of
actually
Votann.
like
you can sort of
the fact
imagine
they
it
have the
starting
little
life as a piece of mining equipment, and they've sort of
coming out of the
evolved
ground
it into a
as a
weapon.
You can
separate
definitely
model,
see sort of
so
some
that
of
you
those
can put
origins.
in
I just want to
places.
draw some attention to some of the super cool bits.
I haven't
on
actually
this guy
looked at
here,
the
you can see over his
Votann's,
shoulder, he's got like a data slate.
rules in
Um,
a while,
you've
so I
got this
don't
sort of,
know the
I
details
don't know,
of
like
this
loading
particular
hatch that,
model, but
you
I
can model open or
I love the
closed.
concept.
On this side, you've got a case which has more of the shells. You get spare shells to put on their own bases. It's just a really thoughtfully designed and very exciting kit. So we should show more though, because this is by no means the end of it.
Absolutely, we've got the Capricus here, so just make some space on the table so we can have a look at this guy. So this is your new vehicle. This is the Defender
Nice.
pattern, which is
You
the gun version.
This is-
and as you can see there, a
Okay,
little bit of space.
this is
not
the
quite enough
point
space
where
for
I
transport
say
on this one.
they're kinda
but there is one
wasting
which is a
time.
transport vehicle.
Because they
I really
literally
like the
had
Iron Kin on this. It's
professionally
actually
shot
like a tiny little
photography
chair.
quite small, yeah, because
and video
fit a
packages
full-sized
of these miniatures, and
kin
now
in
they
there, so
have
they've
them
given them a little
literally
tiny Iron Kin,
playing with
actually
toys on the
perfectly designed for the
table
role.
Absolutely. And,
during the
I guess
stream
the star
to
of
show
the show
scale,
himself in many
as
ways.
if
Hey,
what
yeah.
we saw
So
before
the
didn't
thrice
properly
devoured
show
there.
scale.
So it's still kind of kin-sized. But
don't
you
get me
can have-
wrong, I
kind of
love
have
the
a look
focus
this
on the
model here
Votann.
that so much of him is now bionic, right? So he's
That's
been
great.
chewed up and
his
What?
fingers that do it.
yeah,
What?
chewed up and
Cool.
spat out so many times that like his arm, bits of his arms, there, most of
Yeah,
his
like
face, perhaps.
if you
a
really
kind
want
of
to show
unspecified
scale,
amount
like
of his
pull
body
out
has probably
like a
been dissolved by
Primaris,
horrible
and then
turning
like pull out
bioacid
a
in their
like
stomach
demon
and things.
Primarch.
But he's still kicking. And it also shows how durable the kin are, right? So they're specially designed by their Votann to
Oh my
be
God.
durable
Warhammer
to endure
presented
kind of
by
the most
Billy
hostile
Mays would be
conditions. And
fucking
he's a good example of how that's kind of
hilarious.
manifesting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I
isn't it?
would watch.
So, I think we've covered the league
I would watch a
pretty thoroughly,
single
right?
preview
Before
presented
we,
by Billy
move
Mays.
on,
I don't think
we're
I'd
gonna go
want
to the
more
old
than
world next.
one
A couple of
done
sort
like
of
that, but it would
housekeeping
be
bits. The first one
amazing.
would be we're going to return to the 40th
Stop complaining about boys playing with their toys. Listen, I play with
particularly if you
toys
like
too.
Kill Team,
I'm
but
not
also there's some other
knocking
things
playing
for
with
other factions
toys.
as well.
But these
Do hang
boys
around
are
if you
here
like
to
Warhammer
present me
40,000. The other
many
thing I
more
would say
toys.
is that lots of the people
And I need
who
them to move
mentioned
on.
that they were joining
And
us from
not
around the
play
world,
with toys
you can
literally
interact
on
with our
their
social
desk
teams.
when
We
they
have,
just
sort
showed
of,
us
international social teams that
professionally
manage
shot
our
photos of
various
them.
sort of social media places. Here they are. If you want to
Games
get
Workshop.
involved in the conversation in the language which suits you, go knock yourself out.
Did they? I missed the last
They're really
live
lovely
stream
people.
because I was
They're really
out
engaged
doing other
and
things
want
and I wasn't able to match
sort of make sure
or
that
to
you
watch
get
it,
to
so I
hear
did
about
not see
Warhammer
it.
in,
Did they explain the
language
weird
that suits you.
CRTV
So,
thing then? Was
and if
that
you,
a thing
speak,
back then too?
English or you're willing to
On
take
the
a proxy
last
on
one
it,
is, like,
these
did I
are our
just
socials
miss-
as
is this
well,
a new
so,
thing
please come
that
and
they're
join the
trying?
conversation.
Yeah,
So
see that?
angry about it.
Right.
I'm not angry
Time
about
for
it.
a
I'm
little
just
bit of Warhammer the
confused,
Old World.
let's do
and
it.
they have not addressed it.
So, first up, we have brand new unit kits for the Tomb Kings of Khemri. This is a new multi-part plastic kit that makes the Royal Heralds.
Nice.
The easiest way to describe
they are
these is that you have a
pretty.
battle standard bearer, and you have a new hero
Imagine if they did the
slash lord. You could
entire
make that
Camry.
and call it a
Like
King
just
Prince or a
all
Team
of
King. I think
all
it's
of
up to
them.
you.
Imagine if they had done all of them in new
You
plastic
get
kits.
a battle standard, which you can put on
Imagine
either thing.
how
So if you
pretty
fancy a
and
faster
beautiful
moving battle standard, stick
delicious
it on the
those
horse guy.
skeletons
If you
would have
fancy
been.
him like
How
standing around
happy
in one of your
everybody would
big
have been.
regiments.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I
Skeleton
love seeing
Warriors
the
or
old
Tomb Guard,
models
then,
back, but like,
go for the on foot
they're
version.
making the
There's
new
some
ones
options in
look.
terms of
They're
head
so
things as well.
cool.
Battle standard
Can we
bearers
appreciate
are
the
key to
snake?
Warhammer armies.
The little
If you play
skeleton
the old
snake?
world, you'll know.
Yeah, I love this battle standard. That kind of weird scorpion.
and there's
both
the
paint
Kopesh
scheme
guy,
and
you're
the model
absolutely
itself
right.
are very cool. As you say, this is multi-part as well, so you can swap and change if you want the faster one. If you've got
I
lots of
do
chariots or
really
something
love
like
his
that.
banner.
Yeah.
You can mix them
With
in.
the- with
I would
the,
imagine there's a fair bit of customizability
scorpion
between this kit and some of the other
on either
Team Kini
side.
bits as well.
Yes, yeah,
So-
not just
Super
within this kit
cool.
itself, but also I think things like the Tomb Guard, for example. So this isn't the only.
Like you can
new
see
plastic
the
kit coming
derpy
for
ones
the
behind,
Team
these
Kini. We
really
also have the
fucking
Leech
badass
Priests,
ones.
who are fundamental to the
That's
workings.
the one
literally,
problem
of the
that
Team
I
Kini.
have.
Yeah, you absolutely need Lich
with
Priest in your
them
army if
bringing
you've got
in
a
just
Team King's
pure
army.
releasing
Your army
the old
only woke
lines
up
is like
because you've
anytime
had
they
Lich
do
Priests.
any kind of like
It's
new
their job
update,
to kind of
it
keep the
makes
magic
those
flowing and
older
it keeps your
models
army marching
look
forward.
even-
Again, this is a multi-part kit.
even
There's
more
some
derp
lovely
and
options
not
on these.
necessarily
You
in
can
the
see
best
they're
ways.
perhaps a little bit less
Especially
dead
when you compare
than
their
some of the other
faces.
Khemri, but they're still
they've got
very
some
definitely
desiccated skin
hanging
definitely
on.
desiccated. Definitely
Skeletons,
spent
their heads
far
are
too long in the desert inside a pyramid
huge.
somewhere. I love the vulture on the top of the staff. on
Yeah,
that particular
absolutely.
kit.
So thanks.
Oh, that
for
vulture
bringing
is
back.
actually pretty cool.
It's
I
a really
missed that.
lovely image. These sort
Although
of
I actually
animated,
like the
creatures that
two-pronged
sort of come
staff
alive with
more,
the magic of the
with the
rituals.
like.
I think
the
you were
two
saying as well
birds
that
on
looks
either
like it's
side,
right out of a
basically.
piece of Warhammer
I
art.
guess on the guy
Yeah,
on
the
foot.
mounted
I
guy
like
in
his
particular, I
staff
think
more.
they're both exquisite. But the mounted guy, from sort of the perfect angle, he just looks like the artwork, and I mean that as the highest possible compliment. Tomb King veterans might be wondering if that's extra armor on the skeletal steed. It certainly is. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment.
That is fair.
But yes, you can have a barded skeletal steed, which I think might be quite useful if you're used to terrible
Like
armor
they're just
saves
their
against
ability
the army.
to sculpt undeath
I guess we can
is
talk about
so
that
much
now. If we
superior
go
than it
across to
was.
also coming out
And it
is
is
a
a
new
shame that
arcane
they
journal,
haven't done
The War of Cetra's Fury.
all of
Cetra,
them.
the
Like, I'm talking
imperishable,
the
is very,
Bertonians,
very angry. His lands have been
Tomb
defiled.
Kings,
He feels like he owns everything.
Lizard
and he is
Men,
launching a full-scale invasion
Elves,
northward into
Empire,
the sort
all
of
of them,
border region
in new
between the
sculpts.
Empire and Bretonia,
It
sort
would've
of
been
known as the
beautiful.
Vaults.
They'll never do it. But
Also inhabited by some dwarfs, and you've got sort of dispossessed barons and nobles from both the Empire and Bretonia, and so they are forced to rally in defence of a full-scale invasion of the undead from Khemri. There are rules for sort of allied forces.
I'm so sorry. I didn't
playing
mean to. I haven't had any
smaller
caffeine
games,
today.
in like a timely and interesting fashion. It's just packed, and it's a really cool way of looking at the lore of the old world and how they're sort of explaining the things that took place in this particular part of the Warhammer timeline.
Yeah, it's great to get some new lore for the old world as well. I think.
Yeah,
it's,
absolutely.
The team diving into the opportunities that the world allows them to have.
And see what I mean about the artwork, right? Sort of the guy in the centre, like it just in this piece, it really just screams the imagery that we saw before. I love it. There's another
it is
arcane
nice
journal
when
coming,
your
which is
artwork
equally
matches your
exciting. This happens at the
miniatures.
other side, quite literally, of the region in the old world known as the old world. This is Dawn of the Storm Dragon, and it features a bold strategic move
Yes.
made by Miao Ying, who's the
Since they're
lady
talking
pictured in
about
the
books
centre.
right now, if you
She's,
do need to go
one
grab
of the
a
children
beverage
of the Dragon
or
Emperor,
maybe a little snack
and
for
she
yourself,
learns of
since
the
we
Chaos
still have some
Invasion, which is
time,
happening in the
this
north.
might be the
And
opportune
is
time to do
concerned
so.
that it's going to gain too much traction, so loads ships full of Grand Cathayan soldiers and sails to the Empire, sets up an enclave, and helps to try and stymie this Chaos Invasion.
At least they're being
In
nerdy
real
when they
terms,
do it. I agree
A,
that they
a cool
talk a little
story,
too much,
and B,
but
there's
at least they're being
rules
nerdy
in
when
there
they do
for
it.
all sorts of things, including the opportunity to have an allied force of Grand Cathay and the Empire of Man.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
That is
We've
really
never had
cool.
anything like that before.
Just
really,
chuck
have we?
some
So-
coffee
Yeah, so-
grounds directly
and I think
into
this is
your
sort
gob
of,
and just start chewing.
A great example of the really sort of bold
That would be
and
very
exciting
bitter, I
things that the
imagine.
studio team responsible for the old world are doing. They clearly love the
Yes, if
setting.
anybody
They
needs a
want to
bio
explore it in
break,
really rich
go
and
take
vibrant
one
detail.
now.
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Oh,
So,
well,
we
maybe
should
not.
throw over to Question Corner and see if Simon's got any
what have you-
questions for us.
What have you got for us, Simon?
Okay, yeah, no,
Loads and loads
you
of
can totally
questions.
go take
I
a-
think the
take a-
majority of them
take
are
a bathroom
focusing on the
break, I
League of
think, right now.
Votann. There's loads of shiny new toys coming out there, of course. So the first one is actually about the judgment tokens. Are they still a thing? Obviously, we've got the yield rules, but what about judgment tokens?
So the focus in terms of the army mechanic is
Chocolate-covered
those yield points that
beans?
we've talked about before. It's always good when we get
Oh, yeah,
questions
they do
like,
do
can
that,
you
I
tell me
guess,
the
don't
really
they?
grainy, like granular rules things? Because the answer is no. We've
Wouldn't
got
that just
90
be
minutes
bitter
to
with bitter?
rail through as much stuff as we can, as fast as we can. we'll cover way more detail about
I guess maybe
Votann
if
rules and
it's
mechanics and all those
like a
things
milk
as we
chocolate or
lead
something
towards it.
instead of a dark chocolate.
But you're in for some subtle changes in the way the Leagues of
I
Votann work,
normally say this
and
was
it's
dark
quite fun.
chocolate.
Cool. We've got
I
another
don't
one
like
which
bitter
were
things,
the,
so that's
the
why I'm like,
funky
ugh.
drill shell tokens on the Chthonian Earthshaker. What do they represent?
So I do have a really short and candid answer for that. You saw
They
them
haven't
on
given
the
us
base
Kislev
side.
yet, have
The kit
they? I
comes
think that's like
designed
on
to
the
have
way,
2 of those.
is the rumor, but I don't
and
know if they've officially announced
if I remember
anything.
correctly, and don't like sue me, internet, if I get it wrong, you put them down alongside the
Okay, everybody.
Earthshaker when you
He
deploy,
said the
and
words.
you
We
can
have to
remove
sue him
one
now
from the game
if
to
he
give
gets this
yourself
wrong.
rerolls and wound rolls as you're playing. So yeah, kind of fun. It's like it represents something, and you take it off and you spend it.
Yeah, so the unit is sort of set up so that they have some specialist shells, so that'd be like representing the unit being like, right, we're going to use one of the big ones now. This is the important shot.
Perfect.
And probably got time for one more, so let's go with how many models can the Capricus carrier transport?
Great question.
It carries 5, so it works a little bit like some of the other Leagues of Votann transports, where you take a unit of, usually come in 10s, you split the unit in half, so 5 of them can go in that. If you've got 2 of the transports, you can carry both the units round in those, or you can leave 5 of them back on your baseline
Well, it used to be
deploy
that
them elsewhere.
individual
Grant,
models
that's a
counted
nice
as one
one.
model.
Thank you.
and they
So
carry 10.
we'll draw
Now
a curtain
watch
on
these guys
the
do.
old world, but we will go to the mortal realms
right.
instead. There's some
But they're
exciting things
literally
for us to
dwarves,
talk about
surely,
here.
like,
And let's
surely
start
they're-
with a new battle tome
Okay, fair
for
enough. They
Death,
are quite wide.
the Death Grand Alliance.
Flesh
These
Eater
are the
Courts.
Flesh Eater Courts. Many of you will be familiar with them. These are the like
Oh,
foul
that makes
and
sense. Yeah, that
abominable
makes sense. They're holding his
cannibal
back because of being
monstrosities
afraid of
who unfortunately have delusions, quite literally, of
Sad, but unfortunately
being
true.
noble
that makes
and
Yeah.
elegant
Yeah, no,
and
that makes sense.
chivalric, and the truth couldn't be sort of further from that.
Yeah, they absolutely imagine that they are in service to some grand king,
That
on
is
perhaps a
very
grand
much
crusade
Games
of some
Workshop,
sort,
yeah.
or part of a pageant, or a noble feast
that's
of some
like-
sort, but are in fact horrible
That's just
degenerate
like all
cannibals, as you say.
executives at, like,
The new
a
battle
certain
tome has all
point.
the stuff that you would expect. Lots of new ways to use your army, new magic abilities, new enhancements, changes to some of the way the war scrolls work. So lots of exciting stuff. And perhaps most excitingly, there is a new miniature on the way to accompany them, which is the High Falconer Felgrim.
one
So
prioritizes
much
the
like the
other, I
rest of the
suppose,
Flesh
but
Eater
I don't
Court, this
actually
guy is
know. That's a
under
good
an
question.
illusion.
Whoa,
His particular
he's
delusion
cool.
is that he is
No,
a
you're
falconer
cool.
in charge of noble
Everybody in chat's
and
cool.
wise avian creatures, where in fact he
Dude,
is in
he
charge
has so
of
much
a
going
swarm
on
of
him.
rabid
I love his
bats.
hat.
In
I
the
think
model
my
is very
favorite thing
practical.
about
He's
him
got
is
his
his
kind
hat.
of weird, crazy hat. He's got
You can
kind
see
of
almost like the
was
vestiges
just
of that
talking
nobility
about
that you
the
were just
hat.
referring to, right? He's
Way to
got like a
steal my
very sort of
thunder,
like
guys.
huntsman-y style
They
hat
really
on,
do.
the
They really
tattered
do enjoy
robes
their
of a
Red Dead.
person
I
that might be
appreciate them
performing
for
that
it.
duty, but he's also
I
got guts
too
hanging out
enjoy
the
it's a
that.
sleeves
very
as well.
fun. It's a very fun miniature. I think in the spinning shot, maybe you can just picture it. But there's a bat that comes with him, which is basically a token that represents something in the game, where
Oh,
he
which is
sends
the
one of
little
his
bat we saw
falcons
earlier.
off to spy an enemy unit, and that can give you bonuses in games, basically. So these are the kind of spies, the eyes and ears of the Flesh Eater Courts. And if you direct it to an enemy unit, it can give your squires, your kind of ghouls, bonuses against that enemy unit. You can do things like take away their ward save.
I
and,
do at least
get better
appreciate that. I feel like
basically.
now
very
so with
useful
Flesh
unit
Eater
to have in your
Courts
game,
more
and
so
a
than
very
ever, they've
powerful model
like
for your
really
army.
embraced
Nice.
the fact that
There's
they are
also
fallen
accompanying this
Bretonnians.
release for the Flesh Eater Courts, the Charnel Watch. This is a new spearhead, so you can use it straight in games of spearhead, or you can use this to bulk out, or maybe you can use this to bulk out your existing Flesh Eater Courts army. This is a fast-moving, hard-hitting, infantry-focused spearhead.
Say, that looks like-
It's
that's
got models that you'll
honestly
be
a
very
terrifying
familiar
looking
with,
spearhead.
and the way that they synergize within this game, within Spearhead, is really fun. Expect sort of lightning assaults, and then using monstrous-sized infantry to sweep the enemy away.
Yeah, also a great start to a larger Age of Sigmar
absolutely.
army for Flesh Eater Courts. It combos really nicely with the existing Flesh Eater Courts spearhead. So if
Yeah.
you've got that already, you can add this in, and you've basically got most of an army. Some really good stuff. A couple of the cannibal monkeys in there as well, which
It's what
always
everybody
a
needs,
winner.
right?
Who
Yep,
doesn't love
you
that?
are unfortunately.
There's another battle tome for
very
the
accurate,
sort
I
of
think,
Death
with
faction,
that,
which is
Robert.
the Nighthaunt. Here we have Death battle tome Nighthaunt. They're a
they're
very
hair
popular,
snakes, I don't wanna
iconic
hear.
faction within the Mortal Realms. They sort of had their place within the second edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and they've really sort of cemented their spot as sort of beloved. This book is
Very
ram-packed
cuddly.
with the lore that explains them all.
Zombies
as well as
are
all of
always-
the,
all Flesh
war
Eater
scrolls and
Courts.
information that you would need. I was talking to an avid Nighthaunt player about this
All Flesh
yesterday,
Eater-
who
Eater
was
Courts are
super excited
extremely
because
cuddly.
he's sort of in the know enough to know, for example,
their little
that their
maggots and
ward
such.
saves are improving. across the board, and so he's very excited to
Nerdle
try
likes
those
them
in
quite
games.
quite
Yeah,
a
there's
bit.
some significant defensive buffs for the Nighthaunt, certainly, with this battle tome. Generally speaking, you're finding that the units have a bit more health. The way that their immunity to rend works has changed a little bit. So
Nighthawks are
generally, their
really
normal
cool
saves are a little bit
army.
worse, but you can now bolster them with things like all-out defense.
I was very impressed when they
their
first
ward
came
saves
out
are across
because I
the
thought it
board
was really
a
neat
5
how
up
they
or
made
better,
them look
which is
very
pretty solid.
ethereal.
Yeah, perfect. But let's get on to the model, which is brand new coming out with this
Bonjour,
release, which is the Lord
I
Vitriolic.
hope
This
I
is a
pronounced your
very
name correctly.
disturbing
I may
creature.
not have, and I'm
in
sorry
life,
about that.
it was
I suck.
something
Oh my god!
like
It wasn't a
poison
goblin at
or
all. It was a
make
Nighthawk
make
model.
ointment.
What the
yeah,
hell?
fake potions and curatives who deceived people and sort of let them
love
down or led them to
Holy
ruin.
shit,
and
do I
Nagash
love
is
it.
able to claim his soul because of his sort of malpractice, his evil deeds.
That is so
and has
cool.
reformed him into this horrific Lord Vitriolic with
That's so cool.
jointed arms on top of his spine. He's horrible, but
want one.
really fun in the game.
Yeah, so he's got some very fun rules. So basically, you can see his rack of potions on his back there. And the way that that manifests in games is you can create specialist potions and throw them at enemy units. And you've got two options on how you do that. You can either just chuck a bunch of random potions at the enemy and roll some random things to see what happens to them, or you can concoct a very specific potion to do a specific job.
realised
And the effects of those can range from things like doing harm to the enemy unit, taking away some of their advantages, all the way through to things like stripping ward saves from enemy
Yeah,
units. So
that one looks
chat?
pretty
it's a
Actually,
cool.
really
actually
good
just realised
little
they're not
problem-solving
showing on
unit. So you can go,
no.
right,
Okay.
what enemy am I facing?
have
What
to
I'd really
follow
like
them
against
on.
this is this specific
not
bonus or this specific
notifications, as far
debuff
as I can
to that enemy
see.
unit, or just to do some damage. So I think we're going to see a lot of this guy in Nighthaunt.
If anything, you'd be where the
Absolutely.
chat would be
And
displayed.
as with the Flesh Eater Courts, there is a
Remember.
new spearhead for the Nighthaunt.
Yes,
This is
but
the
I don't-
Cursed
I don't know
Shackle
right now.
Horde.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm looking.
It's just all the ghosts all the time, right? An absolutely brilliant box loaded with everything you'd want to either kickstart an army, reinforce an army,
Remember,
or
if they're behind
play
the
games of
browser,
spear.
You also won't see them.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
may
it's very
end
cool.
up being. Yeah,
and
that
obviously
might be
a
what
great
it
place
is.
to
It's
start
fine.
a new
Yeah, it's not.
Nighthaunt.
I was just. I'm sorry. I just
absolutely.
realized it's not. a big
Those
deal.
things were cool,
You just
but
ordered
there's
the
a lot of people
Necromunda
here who have been
Tracers,
holding
sentry
onto their
guns.
hats really
Nice.
patiently, hoping that we maybe,
Ooh, that'll be
you know,
fun.
show them something they've never ever seen before.
That would certainly be cool.
Well, why don't we start with this?
He does kind of look like something out of Dark Souls. Chaos works excellent. That's, I know that's so. That is fucking. Oh my god, the bowl is amazing looking. Dude, they look.
Say that.
What an incredible
would.
reveal, Eddie! I know you're
I
super
would say
excited.
it.
I
Again.
am very excited. This
The bowl
might
looks
be
amazing.
my new Age of Sigmar army. These are the Hellsmiths of Hashut.
Oh my
These are
God!
effectively the reincarnation of the
Okay,
Chaos
legitimately,
Dwarf
the bowl
concept
actually
for
kinda
Warhammer
reminds
Age
me
of
of the Demon
Sigmar.
Bowl
An
King
entirely
from Monkey Kid,
redesigned
and I
and
love
brand
it.
new army coming out first in an
Oh,
army set,
Chaos Dwarves look so
arriving
sick.
alongside its new battle tome. The army set also serves as the spearhead force for the Hellsmiths
Oh,
of Hashut.
this is the
These models are
spearhead?
phenomenally cool. The rules are great. The lore is great. I love absolutely everything about them. Let's dive
Okay.
into the miniatures.
I think
Okay.
the first thing I
Get
want to say
excited.
is let's talk about like why they are these. When the time of
want a
chaos
spearhead with a giant
happened
bowl,
in the mortal
like
realms,
mechanical bowl.
the Duardin they retreated. They
Oh, no,
survived
don't say
in their
that,
holds,
Jamie.
or they
They
took
can
to
do
the
wrong.
skies or whatever.
They absolutely can do wrong, but this
but
is pretty
not these
sweet.
guys.
This
But
is pretty
not
sweet.
so the Zardron.
Exactly.
the,
Who doesn't love
the
massive arm
Chaos
cannons?
Duardin, who would become
And they're really
known
into
as the
that right now. They
Hellsmiths
did
of
that with the
Hashut.
Saurians,
They
too.
instead turned to
In,
Hashut,
Horus
an
Heresy,
ancient
or the
and
Saturnine,
terrible
sorry.
Duardin deity,
Horus Heresy.
who taught them the ways of hell smithing.
Yeah.
So, and their whole culture is based around Hashut, the Bull Father, and we're going to see that sort of writ large across all of these models. Let's dive into the first thing.
Honestly,
this is
it's a
the army
very,
set.
very handsome
These
dwarf
are the
army.
infernal cohort,
And
with
it's an
Hashutite
actual Age of
spears,
Sigmar
say
one
that
and not
fast
just
if
Old
you
World,
can.
which is cool,
They
'cause,
are
like, I
the
feel like
core
the
units
dwarves
for the Hellsmiths of Hashut.
In Age of Sigmar, like
They
they're
are an
cool,
elite
they're
combat
fine,
unit straight off the bat. These are very dangerous.
but they don't really
dwarves
feel like
indeed.
dwarves, like proper
and
dwarves
the first
to
thing to
me.
observe
These
is
guys
those
feel like proper
Hashutite
dwarves to me.
spears. Each of them's got like a glowing orb in it that contains imprisoned ground down, reconstituted demon essence, because that's how they roll.
So the demon legions that invaded the various Duardin holds during the Age of Chaos, some of them took over the holds.
I don't know if they're going to hold
where
to that, because I feel like they
Hellsmiths
said
of
the same thing
dwelled,
about Empire
they
not
instead
going into the
trapped
old
those
world,
demon
but then they
legions
did,
and
so-
decided to weaponize them into a fuel to power their
think they're
war
gonna
machines,
stick
their
to that, 'cause
weapons,
they wanna just
and
make
their
more
technology. So
If
that
there's enough
green glow,
demand
as you
for,
say,
like,
is
Chaos
ground
Dwarves
up
and
demon
both, I think
juice
they may
that
end
is
up doing
powering
it.
the weapons.
The
of
purple
the
is
Hellsmith.
great.
Yeah, it's so cool.
No, the purple color
things to talk
tone
about
is
within this
fantastic.
unit. Obviously, you've got like a unit champion. You see, you've
They
got
feel
a
very Lord of the
musician,
Rings.
which is like this weird combination of the bare-chested Duardin and a hobgrot carrying a massive
I
drum
think
on
it's
its
the
back, and
Hobgrot.
obviously
Like that Hobgrot very
standard
feels
bearer.
like very
It's
much
a
like
twofer kit. That's like
Lord of the Rings,
internalism
like,
for this kit makes two different types of
Orc or
unit.
Goblin.
And so here you have them with Hasher type blades, basically shorter ways of killing people. They have different profiles within the game.
You think so?
Yeah,
Because of the
both
tusks?
very useful.
Like, is it the tusks that make them look
the
too orc-like
spears
to you?
generally are your slightly more defensive thing, so you get bonuses against the enemy that's charging you, against cavalry. The swords are the slightly more offensive option, where you get bonuses for fighting into enemy infantry and taking the fight to the enemy. But both effectively heavily armored elite infantry.
Yeah, absolutely so. And you can paint them in different colours. The studio team's done a lovely job. The banner in the middle just is a really interesting nod to sort of the Zardron culture, which is, that's a ziggurat in the middle of that banner, right, with the Bullfather's rune above. They live in ziggurat cities, and each one is ruled by a war despot. As if by magic, here is the war despot.
Oh, I thought you planned the whole thing.
This is my favourite model within this.
It's a great
army set.
hat.
It might be
It's a
my,
great hat.
my favourite of the Hellsmiths. It's just so good. Huge hat, great big spikes. He's carrying an enormous warglaive, which is glowing. See the runes at the top glowing with this sort of eldritch power. The war despots, they
What
have
is
to
that,
rule
like,
through a mixture of
skull
sort of
that he's got on his base? I
violence,
can't tell.
and also through just ensuring that everybody around them knows that they are the nastiest, toughest of all of the Hellsmiths. So they are dominant figures.
Yeah, like any Duardin, they couldn't demand the loyalty of their followers unless they were able to
they have
lead
painted
from
it
the
very
front, basically.
Necron
So
weapon-like,
they're not
haven't they?
cowardly, but they certainly
I wonder if it's meant to be like Warpstone.
diabolical schemers sort
Like,
of
I know
thing. So they will
normally,
lead their
like, more
armies
associated with the
into
Skaven,
battle
but, like,
proudly, but certainly not go for a
Warpstone
step.
And their
is
whole
still
reason
sought
for
after, I
being
thought, by
as an entire culture is it's just
Of
like
the
weaponized
well, I don't actually know about
greed.
Age of Sigmar, but I thought back in the day in
plunder
Old World,
and
it
take
was
from the
still,
land, and they give nothing back. If they don't want it, they destroy it. They
pretty
are
popular.
like cruel in the extreme, because that's how they survived the time of chaos.
Yeah, they don't see themselves as corrupted through that. That's as an
No.
interesting
There's
kind of sub.
there's no physical side effects
It
at all.
also-
to
Yeah,
what they've
okay,
done.
I
an
can't
interesting
see it,
sub.
but I
They
kinda
see
see the
themselves as
Xbox
almost the
logo.
paragons of purest order, right?
Yeah.
So they've
Because
taken
of the
the
way the
assault of
X's,
chaos
like,
and they've
on
ground
the
it down
one
and
that's
created
not moving,
like order from
the
chaos.
the unspinning one,
But in the
you
mortal
just, like,
realms,
look at
they
it because
effectively
they put a
they're
little bit of
paving
white in
over
there.
the
It's like
natural order
reverse Xbox
and
logo.
putting up the monuments to Hashut and the great ziggurats that power their industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Also within this spearhead,
Right? It very much looks
is
Warpstone-y. Like, what
just
else would
this
it be?
incredible centerpiece model.
I
the
love this
Dominator
fucking
engine.
bull. Oh
it's
my
another
God.
kit that makes two things. So
She's
these
majestic.
elimination cannons. This is a enormous
Oh,
metal
he can have hands.
creation,
Excellent.
which is animated and powered by
He
this
needs- I just-
demon
the
energy
gun arms are
roiling
perfect.
inside it. Have a look at the sort of brazier in its belly. You can see the demonic eyes peering out as like the demonic souls within a torch.
I love the
and
flames on
give
these
it its
things.
power.
That kind of like green into purple fire is
Yeah.
Yeah, that green and the purple
beautiful sort of
fire is sick.
aesthetic.
I will
This is
agree with him
both
about that.
an incredibly cool miniature, which I think I'm looking forward to see what painters
Mecha
do with this, because the heavy metal one is wonderful, but I think once this goes out into the wild and you've got
You're gonna see
you know,
incredible interpretation
Yeah,
of
1,000
it.
painters painted this. It's going to be amazing. I can imagine this in beautiful non-metallics. In game, this thing is an absolute juggernaut, right? So it has a 2-up save, armor
really
save,
cool
which
to
in
see what
Age
people
of
do
Sigmar
with
is
this
almost
one.
unheard of.
Paint scheme
It has
wise.
loads of wounds. It hits really hard. The combat version can mulch entire units. The
powered
shooting
demon
version is what you
essence,
want
I
if you
getcha,
want to
I
wade
getcha.
into the middle of an enemy army and just set the whole thing on fire.
Yeah, this I get less
Like a lot of the
Warpstone
stuff
from,
in the
even though it
Hellsmith
absolutely
army,
could just be
their
Warpstone,
kind of
like his
army
belly creating
mechanic
that green
allows
flame
you
and more,
to
like,
harness a demon
evil
power on
demonic
specific
energy.
units, so you can bolster the power of it.
Like, honestly,
and
if
on
I-
these, it's
if,
particularly
like,
devastating.
Fantastic.
What this
And we're
actually
still
kind of
not
gives
done.
me vibes of
Also within
is
the
WoW.
spearhead, you'll find this. This is the Tormentor Bombard.
Yeah, it's Burning Legion.
The Chaos
Yeah, like,
Dwarfs
I
of
get
old,
so
if you
Burning
cast your mind
Legion
back, if
from
you're
this.
old enough like me, to the world that was. The Chaos Dwarfs were renowned
Which,
for
I mean, WoW and
devastating
Warhammer
artillery,
have had
particularly that
overlapping
lobbed
histories
things
before,
far
so
across
it's
the
not really
battlefield. And that concept has
shocking
been reimagined for the mortal
that they
realms
might
as
draw
this
inspiration.
beautiful
But I
thing
definitely
to
get
bombard.
Burning Legion from
Raw
these
demonic
guys
power
with the
hurled
green
high into the air to
flame
come
energy.
crashing down upon the enemy. It's deadly in the game.
Yeah, this is the war machine you use if you're being advanced on by multiple enemy units. So you can fire at a single enemy unit, and the units nearby also
Ground up
take
demon
damage. That's
juice,
how
nice.
devastating this
You'll
is.
take 2 boxes.
Very long range. I think it shoots 30 inches, which again is very
Oh my
good
god,
in Age of
yeah,
Sigmar.
we need a bullfighter.
I think the Hellsmiths of Hashut, between this and some of their other units,
Should be some of the
have
Slayers.
claimed to being one of the most devastating shooting armies in the Mortal
Well,
Realms.
let's talk a bit more about that because I think we have the Death Shrieker rocket battery. Brilliant for just like blowing up the enemy's big impressive things, right?
Yeah, so this is a monster killer, right? So where your other war machine is the thing to take out blocks of enemy infantry and kind of massed formation,
man
this is your... They have one big monster that I want to be dead. You can fire this at them. And
Okay, no,
this,
he's
with
standing
a
on
fair-
something.
you
There's
know, with
just a
decent rolls,
giant,
will take out a monster in a single
screw
volley.
mortar
which is
Firing
thing
pretty good.
essentially
in front
a
of him?
demon energy imbued bolt the size of 2 Dwarden stood sort of.
Oh, maybe that's
hexed
what's securing
Yeah,
the
it's
thing
good.
down so that.
Some of their mortars shoot into
this
the ground
this
or
launch
they
set
come up.
also includes a
Oh,
battle
do they
tome.
also have
It also
burrowing?
includes war scroll
Okay,
cards
okay.
that you
I know
would,
Votann, the
want
Votann did.
to have with
Look
your
at the
collection.
eyeball in the flames. That's so cool.
It's the perfect jumping on point for an all-new Hellsmiths of Hashut army.
Honestly, that's really sick
But
looking.
that's not it.
But that's not it.
There's more.
Why don't we show you some more?
Even more. That is fucking sick. All right. Dude.
If the launch box wasn't awesome enough, they will be followed shortly thereafter with all of those incredible models that you just
I'm
saw.
buying 10,000 points of these guys.
Rounding out the force into a really substantial and impressive Warhammer Age of Sigmar army.
Yeah, immediately out of the gate,
Look
you
at
have
him!
almost
Oh my
a
God!
full army offer, basically, of stuff. And we'll
I mean, these
start
guys
off
are
with
cool.
One
I
of the
do like
classic
them. I do
units
approve
of
of a
Warhammer
giant
returning. Bull Centaurs have been
Bull
part
Centaur,
of Warhammer
but
for
like-
almost 35 years,
I
something like that.
remember being charged by these
yes.
when I was like 13 or 14.
In their classic red with green bases
My
back it was
Slaneshi mind
in
is
the
having
day.
fun
But
with that.
this
Anyways,
this
show
is
me
a
the other
heavy
guy,
cavalry
though.
unit. They are basically the experts at riding down
Your
enemy
third
forces
kidney?
and crushing them.
You have
under
3
their hooves.
kidneys?
They
Wow,
hit
it's
very
Crusader.
hard. They're
Lucky.
well armored. These are the sort of manifestation of the power of Hashut
absolutely.
in kind of form. The Dwarden here have kind of warped to be more alike to their ancient ancestor god.
They
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
really
You said a
freaking
thing to
cool,
me
are they
earlier I
not?
thought was really striking, which is
They did a really good
Hashut's
job
whole
with them,
thing is,
honestly. Like, look how
trampling the
thick
mortal
their
realm
legs
underfoot,
are.
Yeah.
Right? He's a the
They look
Dwarden
like
gods
proper
sort of
bulls and
inherited
not
a
like
different
horses,
realm,
which is
and
great.
Yeah,
you
so-
get stuck with the realm. of
So
things.
there's loads of really great lore in the new battle tome, and one of the things that
I don't
comes
think
out
I've
is
seen
the
the
idea
Forge
that
World versions
there
of
were the
these.
ancestor gods of the Dwarden, and Hashut was almost like one of them, right? He was like one of the pantheon, and he was given the realm of beasts, and he sort of felt that was almost like an insult, right? Like, I don't want the realm of beasts. So rather than trying to kind of be harmonious with it, he decided to just trample it flat. So all of his incarnation of beast power is in the form of trampling, in the form of kind of harnessing and subjugating nature.
Yeah, so let's
It's
look
so
at the
funny to me
another sort
how-
of variation that this kit enables you to
Okay,
make, which
these
is the
guys
United
are more
Sentinels.
color balanced.
These
so I
are
feel like
the
what
most
their
devoted
legs are.
towards Hashut
I mean, it's
of
the black, so it doesn't
the
not actually true.
Hellsmiths.
But the
They
previous
guard
guys,
his
their
holy
legs were
places,
so like
whatever a
more
holy
flesh
place for the
toned, but they
bull
themselves
father
were
Hashut
like
might look like.
kind of the
They're
pale
much more
undead
defensive
color
than
tone
the
that you
other
see.
other bull
It
centaurs,
just looks so
although
funny to me.
by no means a passive unit. They're just really great at counter punching. And when you consider how much of the force might be standing back and raining death on the enemy, very useful in their own right. You also get like a little interesting nod to that Hashutite culture, sort of breathed into it through these.
Yeah, I love those miniatures. They might be my favourite in the range, those particular sculpts.
They also key into that sort of classic imagery that we're used
wonder
to
if
from
they're
before,
gonna
as
be
does
out
the
of-
next unit.
Wait, so
which is
they're out of
seamlessly
print?
segueing in.
So
we'll
they're not
see.
making them anymore,
Here's
so
some
they're
variations,
replacing
but we
with
have the
these.
infernal razors. Now, these have got blunderbusses. And
They
if you
normally don't have things
are
like that
long
for
enough in the
sale.
beard, you might remember Chaos Dwarf
That makes
blunderbusses
sense.
from yesteryear.
The absolute
Like
terror of
Yeah.
Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition, I
Like,
think.
honestly, these are the
it
most
was
basic
diabolical.
of their boys that I feel like
and
we've seen
these
so
are
far. The guns are
a
cool
very
looking, though.
dangerous shooting unit in their own right. Again, they're harnessing that sort of demonic power to operate their
Oh,
weapons.
maybe,
and
Robert.
Gunpowder necessary here. And the kit makes two options. So you have those and you have the flame hurlers, which I mean, they have.
I like the one, the helmet
particularly
with
required.
the dangly
Yeah,
things
you,
hanging
two
off
really
it.
powerful units. The blunderbusses, not much to choose between them.
I
Really,
feel
they both
like
do a
that
great job. The blunderbusses have got a little bit
dwarf
more
is
range on
staring into
them.
my soul.
The flame hurlers can
Going,
fire
"I
while
will
you're in
find you
combat,
and
which
I
is really
will
handy.
use
So
this
even
gun
if the
on
enemy
you."
manages to reach you, you can still sort of set them on fire. But the thing that really makes them is that through the
The guy with the
army
top
rule
knot?
mechanic, you can power them up
Oh,
and
this
power up
guy?
the demonic energy
He's
inside the
pretty
guns,
cool.
which basically increases the rend on the guns. You can get these things up to rend 3, doing multiple damage.
They
which is
are. They're a bit simple,
absolutely
but I mean, I think
horrific.
they're meant to
So
be your like
if
more
the enemy
basic
is like
unit,
charging
right?
your,
So it kind of makes sense that they're gonna
your big unit of infernal
make
razors,
them a
and you get
little
like a
less
decent
ornate.
round of shooting against it, you can wipe out things like heavy cavalry and whole units of armored infantry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They are very, very good.
Yeah. Now everything we've shown you really is quite elite and high value.
Get ready for the other end of the
Yeah,
spectrum.
exactly.
Yeah.
But what if you want some chaff to hurl under the the wheels of the enemy, so to speak? Good news. There is a genial relationship between the Hellsmiths of Hashut and the Hobgrots, who sort of bolster their ranks. Hobgrots are also really into doing awful things and desecrating the world, and so they exist as almost like a vassal state within
Yeah, they did
the
used to have a little bit
Zardron
taller
culture.
hats, didn't they?
In exchange for better weapons than they could like forage for themselves, they get to join the army and whack stuff. They fill a really interesting niche in that they are faster than the Hellsmiths and they can scout, right?
They absolutely can. So the way these guys are going to fit into your army, most of your force is going to be very good at shooting, but relatively slow. So you're going to be moving on to the objectives late game, but these can scout, as you say, so you can kind of push them forward early
Yes,
in
the
the game,
penal
grab those
battalion,
objectives,
exactly.
just get under the feet of enemy units. They will absolutely be used for things like trying to take a charge from something so you can set all your other units up for an amazing round of
Can't
shooting.
have the
or to
dwarves
charge them
doing
with
all
bull
the
centaurs
hard
or something
labor.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you will absolutely want some of these in your force. We've obviously seen
The one with the
Hobgrots
drum,
before,
yeah. Any of the ones,
in the
any
kind
of the ones that
Full
get
Voice force,
instruments
but
are
these
always
are
fun. I always like,
armored
I
and
always
equipped
love the
by
musician
the Hellsmiths
units.
themselves. So they've got
And
slightly
Age of
better
Sigmar
armor
as
than
well as
the
Yeah,
ones
Old
that-
none of that
Especially
sort of
old. They had a lot- I
eldritch
feel like they had,
power
like-
methods, though, not for these guys.
Oh no,
Well,
they
I
don't
mean,
get to
I
play
guess
with
Age
any
of Sigmar has a
magical
fair
demon
number
stuff.
of them
So,
too. I don't know if they have
Let's look
specific
at some of the
rules.
extra sort of heroes
Like they
that
used
join
to.
the
He's
faction.
cool
These are
looking. I love the
this is
flame.
Demon Smith.
I love
They are
the
the
way they
ones who
did that
do the
flame.
hell smithing, I suppose it's fair to say.
Ooh, I also
and,
love the sculpted book.
You
That
can
is
see
pretty
in this
sick.
model there's some real sort of hints as to who he is. Obviously a wizard. He's got that demonic power sort of coming out of his hand. He's got his tome, looks like it's sort of etched in. I don't know what
Like
stone
in
that is.
Obsidian Jade.
Malachite,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
With like vile runes. I think his lectern is animated. In a nutshell, they
How
are.
good is that paint scheme though?
It's really-
Whoever painted that in the heavy metal team, well done.
Yeah.
Well done,
it's,
guys.
It's just stunning. They fill a particular function because they're the ones that
He is
enable
very
all
cool.
of the sort of the housemithing.
Yeah, they allow the,
Oh,
the
yeah,
kind
you're
of
right.
army
That is
to
the guy
work.
from the preview.
In game terms, they do a particularly useful
Okay, so we've got
thing as
another
well as
one
being a
revealed
wizard, which
off
is
of
obviously
the,
great. They can heal
off of the
your
banner.
war machines as well. So if you've got any of those big infernal engines or you've got any of your cannons that have been damaged, they can kind of go over and put the power back into them, sort of thing.
Yeah. This kit has another option in it. It also makes an Ashen Elder. We showed you the anointed centaurs, who are the ones who guard the holy sites.
He's
This is
got
the
a
person
heart
doing
on
the
his
rituals
hammer.
inside the holy sites. And you can see that petrification is
Again,
starting to
with the
happen to
Xbox
his skin.
logo in it.
The older a Hellsmith gets, the more they start to become like stone. Their skin cracks. If they're very powerful, if they have the right magics available,
You can
to
hold
them,
it
they
at bay
can-
a little bit.
yeah, absolutely.
maybe.
But Doom is upon them. There's a couple of really interesting things. I like his staff. I'm just going to eulogize about how beautiful it is that the smoke makes it look like a beard. But you had a fascinating fact about the hammer.
Yeah, so there's lots of things that are really fun about this miniature, but if we go for hammer particularly, there's not a lot of hammers in the Hellsmiths of the Hashut, and one of the reasons is that hammers are actually seen as a slightly profane symbol to the Hellsmiths because they remind them of the other dwarven ancestor gods, which really like hammers. But this particular hammer is blessed in the blood of other Duardin priests, so he would have like found a runesmith or something, or one of the Caradron priests or something, and then slain them in a sacrifice and blessed the hammer in that blood. So
talk about the heart
that's
shape
why
on it?
he's the one with the hammer when no other
So if
Hellsmiths
you're
seem to
a
have them.
Fire
Just
Slayer
wants to
player,
actually
Caradron
beat
Overlord
you.
Oh, they hate
player,
this guy.
like,
Yeah.
pick on this guy the most, right?
The Caradrons and the Fire Slayers really do not get on with the Hellsmiths. Like there is a lot. They've got beef. Basically,
Yeah,
with
absolutely
the-
so. There's also another character we should talk about. This
Yes!
is
Oh,
Uraktar.
look at that.
He's the
bull!
first demon smith. Back in that ancient time
bulls.
when
The bulls.
the Hellsmiths needed to learn to survive, he learned the secrets of this demon smithing from Hashut. He is truly ancient and abominably
Dude,
powerful.
that looks so
You can see how that
cool.
manifests his the petrification on the back. Like deep trenches of like rock
looking
starting
at the
to
back
form
is
out of
cool,
his
but
flesh.
could you zoom in on the
Horns
face? I
are
actually
erupting
want to
from
see
his
more of
skull.
his beard.
He's mounted on an enormous infernal, my brain's just gone blank, infernal Taurus. Just centerpiece written all over him. Incredible spot within the lore. Wonderful.
Yeah, very, very cool miniature. It's a 2-for-1 kit as well.
Army,
which is really
Shade doesn't
cool.
paint an army.
It
She
also
doesn't- she's
makes
not a Warhammer
your
player.
Demon Smith on Infernal Taurus. There's a
working
bunch
on
of options
We're
on this kit as
working
well, which is
on
amazing.
it.
So I can't wait to see what painters do with this kit particularly, because
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
just asking for a beautiful color scheme. You can imagine this in like beautiful non-metallics or metallics or glowing runes or
the glowing-
kind of petrified rock or something else. But again, that kind of manifestation of Hashut as never deciding to use the natural materials, right? It's always going to be industrial in some way, or made out of iron or metal or stone or something like
And
that.
the only wood on the base is like burned
Burnt
ruined.
to cinder.
it's
Yeah,
so
you
good.
can imagine him walking through a forest of just like that.
Yeah.
We
Should
want a
should we
face
take a look at
shot
some
of
of the
the- I mean, we
models in
kind
the
of are
flesh?
getting
We've got
one
them
now
here
at
in
the
room with
top,
us, so we
but
can give you
I've
some
got-
sort of
I've got
a sense
ourselves
of
a
the
little
colours.
lineup
Yeah, look
from-
at this.
yeah, look at that.
It's looking good. So here is my personal favourite. You have the War Despot.
Okay, so they just brought
because he's
the
a very
Dwarfs into
chunky
the office
looking
today. Is
dwarf,
really
and
what
if I
we're
stick
learning
this
here. 'Cause we
infernal
had
razor
Votann
next to me, you
earlier,
get a sense of
and they're
sorry,
like,
just
and now here are
making it a lot
Chaos
harder with the
Dwarfs.
camera there.
We
Perfect.
got all of our
You can see,
shorties represented.
like bigger
Don't
in stature,
worry.
more powerful.
All of our short
moving along,
stacks.
you have the Demon Smith and the Ashen Elder. Teeny tiny little hobgrot on the end of the line. Really quite sort of scrawny, just perfect for subverting to your will and getting
The
through your daily
same,
work.
just for kind of scale purposes, that's the same size more or less as the hobgrots that currently exist
Yeah.
in the Cruel Boys range, so you get
Yeah,
an idea
absolutely.
of the size. Much larger. We have the bull centaur there, so you can see that the power
least
of the
this is an
shot sort
army
of
with
coursing
really
through that guy.
good
This is
scale.
a fairly large cavalry miniature there. It's like on a scale with some of the kind of I guess like Agrodon sort of size. That
Because
kind of
everything is like,
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
some real short
he's
boys.
big to say the least.
Short
but
kings.
not as big as. Terrible segue.
Tall
Here we go.
kings.
The
Give me the big boy.
just
even
look at
beefier.
it. Look at
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
so.
Where's the- I wanted the cannon arm one.
I
Sad.
think you can have a few of these in your army as
Yeah,
well. There's
bring
a few
your
different
dwarf to
options for
work
kind of
today.
heads and things. So I certainly expect to see a few of these.
Bring your
making their way
hobgrot
into-
to work
Let's bring
today.
in at least one of the artillery.
Yeah,
pieces
let's get one of
if we
those
can,
in.
and then
Right,
we'll
so-
get to the main event. So if I
we do them?
squeeze some of these,
We'll
guys
run
out
out of
the way,
space. There's too much stuff in this release. It doesn't all fit on the table.
I don't think anybody will be complaining. There we go. So you can see the two war machines.
Again, these have got like really lovely little dioramas
like
on the
you
back,
could
so you've
also,
got
I
multiple
don't know,
characters sort of
slightly
with different
zoom your
roles
camera
across the
out.
artillery piece, like
Yeah, absolutely.
You really want to keep
funneling the
them all on
demonic power
screen.
into the engine or stoking the furnace and that sort of thing. A little bit like the Leagues of Votann artillery we saw before.
Oh
These
my
are
god,
just,
level
like,
Chaos
wonderful
Dwarves.
little
Well, no,
pieces
they
of
just
armor.
got
Yeah,
they
but
just
let's
got a
bring in
new release, so I
Erectile,
don't think
shall
they're
we?
going to
Yeah,
get
the
new
big
ones
guy.
anytime
round
soon.
this all
And didn't they get one like
So I mean, this is
Summer last
it's
year?
a fairly big model.
towers above even the Dominator engine.
There we go.
as he should?
Just exceptional. There'll be loads more pictures of this on warhammercommunity.com, and you can see it all in more detail. There's probably some bits and pieces of information that we left out. We need to move on.
Yeah, we did
Yes,
it.
Right.
please.
That was
Before
very
I do,
cool. Very
before
cool.
I do, one more thing. I'm aware that lots of people in the chat might be keen to know about Warcry and whether or not Warcry is relevant here. The Warhammer Studio team are going to publish rules for using Hellsmiths of Hashut for Warcry when they release.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes
Oh,
peeled
that's
on the
cool.
Warhammer Community website. There'll be a free download that lets you try out some of the Hellsmith models in Warcry in your games.
Yeah, so not only will there be a full new army for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, they will also feature as an entire new faction in Warcry as well.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
also,
Yes, it would be nice if we
Just gonna go
segued
hard on it.
seamlessly into the Warhammer
Go in,
Underworlds.
buy all of it.
So welcome to Spikewood. This is an expansion for Warhammer Underworlds.
Okay.
It's the scene is essentially you're in the Spikewood. You have a Hellsmiths of Hashut warband fighting against the Kenothi. So it really is industry versus nature.
So even more.
yeah, there's a
Chaos
strong
Dwarves.
rivalry in the Mortal Realms between the Hellsmiths, who are all about, like,
'Cause
as we say,
normally
trampling nature
these
underfoot,
do not
and the
overlap
Sylvaneth, who
with
are all about
sculpts
protecting
from
nature,
other-
and the
oh,
Kenothi
oh,
are
I like
particularly
that.
kind of warlike aspect of that, following the kind of absent
I like
hunter
that
god
elf boy.
Kurnoth. So they will defend the wild places
I guess
of the
he's
Mortal
kind
Realms.
of a
Yeah,
deer.
so here you
boy.
can see the two warbands. So this is an expansion, as we say, for Emberguard, and you have the Hellsmiths, you have the Kenothi. The Blood of the Bull is the Hellsmiths unit. Bottom left-hand corner, you have a War Despot.
I like the pompous guy with the
army
sword
advancing
facing
into the
downwards.
Spikewood has suffered a strategic
just standing there
reversal.
like,
So she's regrouped with her sort of
I am
remaining
regal and
warriors in that inner
majestic.
circle. And she's waiting on reinforcements before she can raise the place to the ground. So she finds herself contesting it, obviously, against the other warband.
Yeah, and you've got some great archetypes in the mix there as well. I particularly like the Hobgrot.
He deserves a call out, doesn't he?
He does, because if you've been playing Warhammer for a very long time, you may remember Hobgoblins from Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and there was a unit called Throat Cutters, I think it was, or Throat Slitters. He is basically a homage to those.
It's really lovely.
Which is really lovely to see.
Yeah, they've got
I see.
their rules reflect that sort of plunder, take what you want, decimate the landscape just for the joy of it sort of mentality. The other warband
Thank
in
you
this
for
set
subscribing, Carlos.
is, he says, well, there we go.
Matute?
Colonel
Matute?
Herald.
Carlos Matute.
These
I
are
hope
there's
I
three
said
of them
that correctly.
in
Thank you for
the
subscribing.
kit. They make
Oh, I love
these,
the Wood Elves. I mean,
Kenothi.
okay, technically, are
The
they
thing
Wood
to
Elves
point out
or are
with
they?
them in terms of like their rules and how they play is that they're very defensive because they're holding what they've got. They're not interested in stealing other people's
Are
stuff.
they
They just want
also
to protect
centaurs?
their woods. And so while they're in
Deer
their own area of the
centaurs?
board, if you're an Underworlds player, you'll be familiar with the sort of mechanic. They're better, so they're better at
Elven
defending their own
deer
objectives.
It's quite an interesting
Because
warband
they
then,
do have
because
pointy
they're quite a
ears.
fast warband, and usually you expect that to be quite aggressive,
Yeah.
but your bonuses are for defensive play.
Yeah, so redeploying, fighting in different areas in your own area, and just
I love these miniatures. I think we've seen
They do look
Kenothi
really
in
cool.
Underworlds before, and this is a kind of expansion.
I actually
of that,
really like
but
the
I think this is a
woven
phenomenally cool looking
armor
warband.
look.
I looked at them too long, and I'm really disturbed by their gemstones glowing
You said
in their
that you don't like the
buttons.
glowing
Yeah,
belly
it's
buttons.
Something about it, man.
I dig it. I'm here for glowing belly buttons.
So there we go.
Cavalry do always look cool. You're not wrong.
Awesome stuff. Also for
'Cause they always
Warhammer
have so much
Underworlds.
energy
What
going
an
on in them
awesome
too,
set
that
of
you don't really,
releases
like, you
for
rarely
Warhammer Age of
have
Sigmar.
And 10
horse
years
just
of
sort of
Warhammer
standing
That's a really
there,
fair point. Yeah,
unless it's meant to
10
be
years
like
ago this
an
month,
undead horse.
we saw the arrival of the Mortal Realms, the birth of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We're going to be sort of showing over the coming year a whole bunch of interesting
Deer
things.
centaurs,
to do
but the
with,
elves in
Mortal
Warhammer
Realms.
have
So
always
if
been
you enjoy Warhammer Age
valuable.
of Sigmar, you're in for a good time.
You can just shape them into whichever
It's a
you
long time to
want.
get here, isn't it?
Yeah, it
but
was
then they
worth the
are
wait.
only movement 4. So
Raph has respectably reminded us that there is, in fact, 5 more things to
Oh,
talk
there's
about.
more. Look at this.
And we're already getting the move along sign. There are 4 more boxes coming for Warhammer Underworlds. Each box contains 4 warbands. Each box also
Interesting.
synergizes with a particular faction. So this is the Order one, the Seekers in Shadow, and it contains 4 warbands from the Order faction, Grand Alliance, I should say. This is the Death
They're
one.
selling them in 4-pack, like
These
4
are the
army
Reavers of Ruin,
sets.
the Chaos Warbands. And
Ooh,
we
I
saved
don't-
my
I-
favourite to last because I'm allowed to. The Gits and Goliath, the Destruction Warbands. Each.
I think I missed a couple of
Anybody
these.
who plays
I don't
Warhammer
remember this
Underworlds
troll
will know.
one.
Each
And I don't
Warhammer
remember the
Underworlds
one
warband
in
is
the
lovely,
previous
right?
one
They're
that
just
had,
characters full and they home into a different part of the
Oh, I think it
Mortal
was
Realm
the.
setting.
God,
And
it
you
went
get
so
4 in a
fast. They
box.
actually
It's
didn't
just-
stay on it for very
it's
long. Go back
delightful.
to the last one.
To play with them, you would need to pick up this, which is the Warbands of Spikewood. Contains all the cards and everything that you want. So whether you fancy playing with them in Warhammer Underworlds, seamlessly integrating them with their War Scroll cards into Warhammer Age of Sigmar, or just having some different hobby experiences, there's 16 opportunities in 4 boxes.
there are every one of those boxes is all killer, no filler. There are some beautiful miniatures in there, including the
I
crab.
mean,
the
that's
Irish
how
crab.
I get to
Perfect.
have
Yeah,
animal
so,
parts
I think we
sometimes too. Is
actually
I
are at
stick
the end of
magic
the
rocks.
podcast.
into
We
my
are
shit.
now at the end
Is
of
that not
Mortal
how
It
you
would be
do it?
it would be a good time to
When
check
you
in on Christian
transform
Corner
into
and
a
see if there are, in
centaur,
fact,
is that
any
not how
questions.
you transform?
Yeah, there's loads. People are very, very excited to hear about the Hellsmiths joining Warcry. That'd be really cool as well.
fantastic.
Holy
I'm
shit!
really
You guys are
pleased
telling
because we want them to
telling
be able to
us
play
that
with
you're
them
being
as
rushed to
And
talk
of course
about things, and then
range
you
is
cut
stunning, so
to
people
talk
are
to
super
chat.
pumped about that. So there's a bit of confusion about the Grand Alliance that they come from. So presumably they come from the Chaos Grand Alliance, and if so, how do they fit in with the rest of the Chaos?
Yeah, so I can take
go
that
on.
one. So the Hellsmiths of Hashut have a slightly interesting relationship with several factions in the Mortal
No,
Realms.
I absolutely
They are definitely
agree. I
in
think
the
the bits
Chaos
and
Grand
bobs,
Alliance.
like,
So despite what
I
they
use Underworld
themselves
specifically
believe,
for
they
that
are
because I
probably,
think
probably
they
are
put
corrupted by
a
chaos.
lot
at
of
least a
fun
little bit.
sculpts.
You don't get to play
into
with that much
Underworld
demon
You
power.
know,
than
I mean,
they
you have
can.
tusks growing
They
out of your
play a
face
little
and
bit
horns
more
growing
there
out, and
you're turning to
sometimes
stone.
with their
yeah, I mean,
designs and the
something's got a
energy
little
that
bit
they put
demonic
into
there.
this-
But
into
they
the
would
actual
consider themselves
designs.
as kind of champions of order, but they are in the
and
Chaos Grand Alliance. And
it's really
they
cool
also
that they have
trade
these.
with
I'm
the
just
various
surprised that
forces
they're
of
selling them
chaos.
in
So
packs of
perhaps
4.
Chaos warlords and things would go to their ziggurats and
Because like
be
19
served with
Citadel
like, weapons
miniatures monsters,
for
like,
in
I'm curious
exchange
what the
for the bounty
price
that
is
comes
on
across the
those.
realms. They
Yeah,
also
like,
have
I
a
really
kind
wanna know
of
what the
symbiotic
price is
relationship
on
with
those,
the
because,
hobgoblins,
like,
and have
those
traded with
kits
like the
were
cool boys and
not
things like that. But they are
cheap to begin
chaos
with.
Grandalites.
Now, the fact that they have separated
So,
the
how
cards
does
from the
Hashut
models
fit
is
in
a
with the Chaos
choice
Pantheon? Is it-
Really
that I don't
really
necessarily
badly.
hate.
Yeah, it
Because
does,
as somebody
does
who
not play well with
does
others as a
not play
recurring theme, really.
So he is
Underworlds,
part
and
of the pantheon of the
therefore
Dwarven gods,
didn't
right?
really
but,
like having to pay
he feels
for the
ostracized. They
stack
understandably
of
want to
cards that
ostracize
came
him.
with the models that I
so
wanted to paint.
The Hellsmiths kind of
It's kinda
vilely
nice for that.
resent the other
But at the
Dwarven
same
gods. It's a
time, like,
very
you're now
fractious,
making the people who do actually want to play your
relationship,
game
which is
potentially
why
have
there's
to buy
such
two
vitriol
separate
between
things
them.
instead of just
Great
getting
questions. Thank you very much.
the army that they want.
We need to go
actually, like
to
the single
our
army they
next
may actually
setting,
want with the cards in
which
it
we will do
all at once.
by
It's an
moving
interesting
to
choice.
the timeline of the Horus Heresy.
Let's do it.
So
But yeah, Underworlds.
there
like,
are a
sculpts are
multitude of
generally
great
really
releases
cool,
coming
very
if
fun.
you play Legions Imperialis. It's all tanks.
Whirlwinds!
So if you're a
So many
treadhead,
tanks.
settle
So
in,
many tanks.
and we'll
Oh my
take you on a
god!
tour.
Look at them!
Several boxes of fantastic plastic kits that
And some
make some
Scorpius
really interesting additions
missile.
to your
sorry,
army.
Scorpius missile
On screen now you can
tank
see the
squadrons.
Whirlwind and Scorpius set.
Woo!
It's
Oh,
8
that's so
of those,
cool.
4 of each. And so if you want to just rain death on the enemy, blow them out of their cover, this really is a wonderful way to do it. Built on that famous Rhino chassis, as is the Vindicator Siege Tank Squadron. Essentially,
Cool,
what's the biggest gun you can stick on a
Vindicators
Rhino? Oh, it appears to be a gun with a breach
What
big
if
enough
I
to
want?
stuff a
I
whole
want an
space
even
marine
bigger
in it.
gun, though, Adam. I want a bigger gun.
You want to do a heavier siege
I want a
than
heavier
that.
siege gun than that.
Well, I've got some very good news
Oh, that's
for you.
it. That's exactly it.
The Type on Heavy Siege Tank Squadron is on the way. It's even bigger and more dangerous than the Vindicator. And you get like a nice guy with a flamer just warming things up and making sure that everything goes according
Is he
to plan.
contributing? Like, by the time you've been shot by that
I like
siege
to
gun, how
imagine
much of a flamethrower do you really
I
need?
imagine he's just like baking off what's left, you know,
Maybe,
like drive
yeah,
through and he's
maybe.
like, you're getting some and you're getting some. If you want to blow things up from further away, maybe there's a
Even
Titan squadron
larger
that offends you,
guns.
then you could do a lot worse than the Cerberus Heavy Tank Destroyer Squadron. These are firing turbo lasers. That guy is offering you a fist bump. It is a wonderful time to be driving tanks over the enemy.
Yeah. Some debate in the
Legions.
office as to whether
Imperialis.
it's a heavy tank destroyer or a heavy tank destroyer.
Yeah, exactly. We've had some debate
Let us
on
know in the chat which one you think
Oh,
it is.
also,
think it's a-
just in
it's a
Northern
heavy tank for
Adventures,
destroying
I
or a
do
tank for
have
destroying
some
heavy
hot
things,
picks on the internet. You can
answers.
find them
Possibly
on Twitter
not,
as
possibly.
well. My
The
OnlyFans,
heaviest
my
of all of the
Fansly.
tanks.
There's lots of
It's
places
so heavy,
you can find
it's
hot picks. with
super
me.
heavy. Is the Mastodon assault transport. What if you want to just pack Space Marines into a
Woohoo.
tank, drive it across the battlefield,
Dude, the
open your
Mastodon
gate,
looks sick.
and charge into an enemy stronghold, having leveled the walls with a melter array? Then this is the way for
Wonder
you
how-
to do
like,
so.
I
It's even
have
got its
not
own
looked, 'cause I
anti-aircraft
assume this is
system
a
on the
Forge
top,
World
and
model
the pilot of that is offering you a
they've
critical
struck
bump as
down.
well. I imagine he gets
Wonder
on
what
great with the
Fort-
other
like, what the
guys.
Sort of
size of the
a,
Forge World version is.
30,000 equivalent of a siege tower, isn't it?
I
That's
love
that
it.
kind of vibe.
The design on this, we've seen this at like standard Warhammer 40,000 scale. It's beautiful. It's still beautiful at small scale. It's just little.
Yeah.
So
True.
those kits,
See,
like
There's
loads
lots
and
of
loads
fun
of tanks
things
that
you can
Treadheads
buy.
rejoice. All of the rules for those, in fact, all of the rules for all of the units in Legions Imperialis can be found in Liber Strategia.
We have lots of
Essentially, a thing that combines all of the rules and puts them in one place. If you've got a copy of the core rulebook and got a copy of this, you are ready to rock and roll, along with a whole bunch of other rules content. There's too much to go into here and now, but have a look.
We
in
have
afterwards.
too
It's
many
gonna be on
rules. We have
Warhammer
too many
Community,
books for you
and
to
we'll
have to
talk more
buy.
about
We're
it
not going
closer
to talk
the
about
launch.
them all right now.
What if you really like the letters A through F and you want
love
to
them.
mark objectives and or token effects? We're releasing a really just useful set of token markers for you to use in your games. I find these sort of things very useful for reminding me what effects are going on in the game. And then there's all the formation and data sheets.
Is this
you
the
need
first time
for
they've
your,
officially
Legions,
released,
Imperialis games?
like, as a
The
separate
team responsible
product?
for this setting have really just
Objective
done a
markers?
cracking job of making sure
Okay.
that like
'Cause
the
I'm like,
rules are accessible.
honestly,
you can get
why
hold
don't
of
they do
them.
that
It's
more?
really fun time.
But
I
also,
Kind of compiled a lot of stuff together into
Yeah,
a much more
absolutely.
convenient.
do they? Okay, because
I've got a
like,
good friend who's super into it, and he
nice.
was
Like,
asking
I
me
know
about
that I've
like,
gotten
you know,
objective markers, like
how
Kill
he
Team,
gets
for
all of his
example.
rules
Like
together. I just
the
have to sit there
first.
quietly knowing.
Actually, I
that
think
it's
all the
fun.
Wouldn't that be great if they were on
major
one book?
So,
big box
yeah,
Kill Team
your
boxes
president
always
answered.
came with like Kill Team specific
There's
objective
more stuff
markers,
set
and we have
within
those.
the Age of Darkness.
And like we have some other ones. So like I know GW's produced them, but I don't know if they've ever sold them like
but we have the
outside
Mark
of a
II
box
Assault
set.
Squad. So I think we showed one before,
We
didn't
did, yeah. I absolutely love these. So this is the new Mark II Assault Marines. Mark II is kind of one of the more brutal
There
looking
have been
of the various
hints
different Space Marine
of
armor marks.
something
And
Necron
these guys
coming.
have ramped that up even
So,
further.
fingers
You've
crossed,
got
honestly
some
baked
options
artists
in this
that,
kit for a variety of different
you get
weapon
something,
options. The coolest of them is the chain axe, which is an optional free
Some
upgrade
cool
to
Mark
the
II
chainsword
assault
that comes
squads
normally
for Horus
with your
Heresy.
assault marines.
Yeah, and so
Those
the kit's
backpacks
loaded
are
with chain
fucking
axes.
humongous.
It
How
even
they
has
don't
heavier
fall
chain
over,
axes
I
they have
am
to plow.
unsure.
Think of them as slightly slower than chain axes, but they have a.
Maybe they just constantly
like a
have them
more
on,
dangerous-
pushing them
chainsaws, but they
progressively
have a more dangerous
forward so
effect,
that they
absolutely.
can't fall over.
There are points free alternative. So
Yeah,
if you,
jet
if you
engine
buy
jump
these,
marines.
it's just a straight points, no points involved, just a straight kit swap. If you're dying to have that classic chainsword loadout, then there's some good news
Imagine
because you
if
can
this
swap the arms with the ones that are on the Mark 6 assault marines,
Is
or
what,
you can just get them from the upgrade kit. But I think compliance has never looked
Titus.
better than it does.
I almost
with,
blanked on
a
his
chain
name.
axe.
There's some great different options
Imagine
in
if
there as
that's
well.
what
You've got a
Titus
couple of
looked like
heavy
when
chain
he was
axes
wearing
too,
his
which is
assault
another
jump
upgrade
pack.
you can put onto some of the models.
And
The
he just
sergeant's
had
got
these,
the
like,
options
you
for
were
some
playing
pistols
and
and
it's
close
just
combat weapons.
backpack.
And as you can see with the
In your
salamander
screen.
on the screen there as well, you can also equip them with
I want the
combat
mod
shield.
for that.
So
I
loads
want
of
the
different
new-
things
I want the mod
you
for
can choose
that.
to mix them in with. I would imagine we're also going to see some of these converted with all the different Space Marine kits. One of the lovely things about the Horus Heresy is that so many of the kits are really interchangeable with each other, so you can take bits and heads and arms and weapons and stuff and recreate it.
I really like the breastplate on these. That high gorget looks fantastic. They're just fantastic looking models. Well done.
Don't
them.
talk about how easy these
There's
things
more
are to
coming
kit
as
bash,
well.
gentlemen. GW
GW
will hear you. Your bosses will hear you and go, "Oh, we
General
have to
Tactical,
stop
which is
that right
available
now."
to order right now. In fact, all of Saturnine
Start
is
making
available
them
to order
have
right
weird
now.
angles and not flat
There's a new
surfaces to
General
connect
Tactical on the
things.
horizon. It's called the Forges of Saturn, and this
It
is
has been
really
nice to
all
see all
about
the Iron Warriors, hasn't
Vulcan's gift to his brothers through the Saturnine project, and so it focuses very heavily on all
They
of
are a
those
handsome
suits
chapter.
of armor that we've seen in the Saturnine box.
Yeah, there's loads of great new options in this book, particularly allowing you to do more stuff with your Saturnine miniatures. So there are different, basically, things that you can do to your Saturnine miniatures using other kits, mixing kits together to create new units. So this is a really great example. This is a Saturnine command squad, and what you've got here is a unit that's taken bits from the command squad sprues and also some spare bits from someone who's built a Saturnine Praetor with his axe. You get the hammer spare. You can now
wish
give it
Daddy
to
Dorn was
characters in
Iron
your
within,
Saturnine command
iron
squad and basically
without.
make them into a champion. The
What is
other
the
option that you can
Salamander's
have inside this
slogan?
is to make one of your Saturnine Terminators into
Oh
a
my God,
Saturnine
those look
Centurion.
beautiful.
That's the Thousand Suns guy on the far left there. Saturnine Centurion means that you could now have like two tiers
the
of
Horus
Saturnine
Heresy
commander
era
you can
color
have in your
schemes are
army,
great.
and effectively unlocks the ability to have an entire
beautiful Thousand
Saturnine
Suns. I mean, don't get me wrong, I
styled
love the
army
blue,
if you
but-
wanted to.
Yeah,
Damn,
one of
that
the
red is
topics
sick.
that's handled inside this
Agnes
General
would be so
Tactica
proud.
is the way the Legions embraced Saturnine armor. Obviously, to use it at all requires you to be at least to some extent psychically sensitive. That really plays into the hands of the Thousand Suns.
Thousand Suns love it. It's my favourite.
But there's all sorts of things. It's not just the Thousand Suns that sort of get the rub in this. So there'll be lots to enjoy, and we'll tell you more about it as we get closer.
Yeah, there's some really interesting stuff about how the different legions have sort of embraced it. So the Thousand Suns have sort of used it as intended to some extent. and
Into
kind
the
of
flames
put
of
all
battle,
psychic
unto the
pilots
anvil
inside
of
them.
war.
And
Okay.
The word bearers immediately crammed it
It's a
full
bit
of
mouthy,
demons
it's a
just to
bit
see what
long,
would
but I
happen.
like it.
But all of the legions, to some extent, have recognised the lethality of Saturnine technology and find a place for it in their legions.
Perfect. Right. We're
I
still
know
not quite done
technically-
in this sort of area of the timeline.
Like,
I
oh
am
gosh, why am I
super
blanking
excited
on
to
the
be able to
Salamander's
announce today on behalf of the Black
Primarch's
Library
name?
that there
Thank
is
you.
a new
I know, like, Vulcan
mega
was a
series
perpetual,
on the
right?
way.
Yes.
This is the
So he's
Scouring.
technically
This is book
could be
one
out
called
there, so-
Ashes
Well,
of
he
the
got killed
Imperium,
by a
and this
planet
kicks off
being
a
consumed by a
multi-book,
sun, so it's-
multi-author
Oh,
mega
okay.
series.
So
set
he may
in
just be
the
gone.
ashes
I
of the
think
Imperium.
so.
It's a
I think the planet
perfect
was
title.
destroyed.
The Horus
Oh,
Heresy
okay, 'cause
then
I was
the
like-
Emperor
At the end of the War of Peace.
mortally wounded and shrine upon the Golden
I
Throne.
don't
The
know
War
the
Master
lore
is dead. The
specifically.
forces of
Okay,
the
because like
traitor legions
honestly,
are in
you want to
full
talk about
retreat.
Primarchs, I'd actually love to
What
see come
happens
back
next?
because I wasn't
So
sure if
this
he was a
series
able
begins
to be around.
essentially
Vulcan coming
at
back
that
would
premise,
be cool.
and here we have
It would be
a
dramatic.
very understandable confrontation between
Somehow
a
Palpatine
battered and
Somehow
damaged
Palpatine did
Rogel
return,
Dawn
so why
and
can't Vulcan?
Rabute Gilliman.
Why
who's
can't
arrived
Sanguinius?
pristine with reinforcements, and as you can see, they're at loggerheads already.
Just clone him.
Black
Drogo,
Library are
please.
super excited for us to be announcing this
Or,
today because this is the
Not
culmination of a
Not
lot of
Khal
work and
Drogo,
effort
sorry,
between a really sort of carefully assembled cabal of writers
What
and
is his
creatives
name?
that
The-
have been
Bile?
plotting out
No,
a
I mean,
multi-book
Bile could,
series
but,
which we're going to see play out over several years.
the guy
I'm
that made the
really
Primaris.
excited by
I
this.
think you were
Call.
saying to me earlier on that there's kind
Is
of
it-
three core
Belisarius
themes.
Call.
Belisarius
Yeah,
Call.
absolutely.
Sorry, that's
so,
why I was
so
getting
in a
it.
nutshell, and without spoiling
swapped.
anything for those of you who want to enjoy it, I promise you spoiler free. There are three
Oh, weird.
principal
We
themes.
stopped showing
Theme
you
number
other
one
people's
is what
chats?
happens with the legions to start.
How
things,
strange.
Right? essentially caused all of this, or their brothers have.
Listen, Dorn's
They've
hair,
ruined
he's
the work
having
of the
a-
Great
he's
Crusade.
having-
The Imperium is in
he's angry
tatters.
and his hair is
What is the
projecting
place
that,
for the
okay?
Space Marine legions in the wake of this catastrophe?
That's why it's
So
going.
the traitor legions, the second of these sort of perspectives. The War Master is dead. Their whole purpose for doing this has now failed. The Chaos Gods withdraw some of their power. So suddenly they thought they were onto
what
a
have they
good
been
thing,
talking about?
and now they're relatively
Like,
alone.
why
and
are
you
we?
could
Why
see,
have we just been
how
staring
do
at a
they
picture
survive? How do
of
they
fucking
regroup?
Gilliman and Dorn
The
for the
third
last
group
like 2
is,
minutes?
in my opinion, maybe the most
I
compelling.
mean, they
which is
are
watch
beautiful.
humanity,
Don't get
right?
me
They've
wrong.
just
I
watched
love
these
them both.
demigods
I have
wage war
statues
across
of
the
both of them,
Imperium,
actually.
ruin everything,
But, like,
destroy
come
the
on.
Emperor's great works. The Emperor is mortally wounded. How do they respond? How does humanity rally?
Dude,
and how
Dorn
does it
always looks
perceive
sexy
the
as hell.
place of the Space Marine legions that remain?
Absolutely, and I think worth saying as well. This is
Honestly,
absolutely
he
you
looks
can treat
way
this as a
hotter than
self-contained
Gilliman.
series.
Oh, yeah.
If you have read all of the Horus Heresy from Horus Rising all the way through the full novel series, and then gone
Black
through the Siege
Imperium
of
new
Terror,
book?
first of all, very well
Series?
done.
Okay.
There's a lot of books to read, some great stories in there. But if you are new to the Horus Heresy and kind of the setting and the era, you can absolutely just jump in with Ashes of the Imperium and treat the Scouring as a series in its own right.
Yeah, I
Are
have to
they
give a little bit of a shout out
suggesting
to
that
Chris
new
Wright as well,
people
who is the
skip
author
the
chosen
first
for this first book.
3
He is a
books
true
of the
gangster
Horus
of words.
Heresy and
He's
just
written some of
start
the really
with
fantastic
this?
Black Library novels.
Is that what they
If you've
legitimately
never read a
just
Chris Wright book and you just
suggested?
want to dip your toes in ahead
Holy
of trying
shit!
this,
What
I could not recommend
what is
enough
going
Valdor
on,
Birth
and
of
have
the
we entered the
Imperium.
warp?
It sort of sits outside the rest of the sort of Horus Heresy experience
Chronology,
a little
yeah,
bit, and it's like
The problem is
top-tier
Fulcrum
Black
would be
Library
very
fiction and might be a
bored
fun way
with
to
bending
sort
you
of
like a
whet
pretzel.
your appetite for more Chris
So
Wright.
I don't know if he would.
As we
Like, you
approach
gotta
the release of
find
this, we're
something
gonna
a
have
bit more entertaining for
full-length
him to do
interview
with
with
you.
Chris talking about Ashes of the Imperium and all of the care and consideration that's gone into it and the narrative that unfolds. More on that on Warhammer Community as we have
Yeah,
it.
it's very exciting. I think it is.
Okay,
That was
thank you.
awesome.
We've stopped looking at
I
the
really
photo.
am super excited for it. We're not
Dorn
done
is a
yet.
power
We
couple.
We're not
promised
even
me.
close.
We
We're not even
promised
close.
that we would return to the
100%.
grim darkness of the Dark Millennium, and we do now with 5 new Space Marine heroes for 5 of the first founding chapters.
Right, this is Vulcan Heston. So this
Okay.
is a model returning that has previously been in metal and resin and is now in plastic. Vulcan Heston
Very
is
cool.
a
So a
famed
new-
hero of the Salamanders chapter,
or a
and his
reprint, I
particular
guess, of a
mission is to
Salamanders
scour the
model,
galaxy,
going from
looking
metal
for the
and resin
relics
to
left
plastic.
by his Primarch, the namesake
Vulcan Heston.
He wears
He's
some of
cool
those
looking.
relics himself, so he is equipped with an artificer suit of armor.
love
He
his
is carrying a handheld heavy
Salamander armor.
flamer
That, like,
and a
lizard
blade
skin.
of Vulcan that
I love
crackles
it.
with
So cool.
magma fire and is able to slice through enemy warriors. He's also walking through flames, just in case you weren't sure he was as cool as he can be. He's just walking through the fire
We
there
all
as well.
wish- well, okay, maybe-
he is
maybe
probably
not-
the
not
most
the fans
iconic
of,
Salamanders character that
Portrait
exists
Robo,
in
but,
Warhammer
like,
40,000, and it's great to see
Dorn
him
coming back
in
and
plastic.
bitch-slapping
He
him would
has
be great.
a couple of head options. You can have helmeted or unhelmeted. And
Health
both
and
of,
safety first.
both of them look very, very cool indeed. He is only one of the 5 new Space Marine
Yeah,
characters on the
next
way.
up we have a very iconic and well-known hero returning in a new incarnation. Darnath Lysander, first captain or
Lysander?
captain of the first company, I
Lysander.
probably should say, of the Imperial Fists chapter. He's been remade in the
cool.
sort of
I think I
new
vaguely
Terminator
recall,
armor style
like,
that we saw for the
I'm
first
familiar
time.
with
Yeah,
some
the same
of
scale
Dorn's
as the
boys,
ones
Yeah, absolutely.
in the recent Warhammer 40,000.
And he is
But I don't remember
a
this guy
substantial man
specifically.
in that armor. He has an enormous
Lysander,
storm shield.
Yeah, Lysander. I
carrying
just
that
like the name sounds
incredible
cool.
looking
It
thunder
might be the
hammer.
best storm shield in
Do
Warhammer.
I?
It's
The resin
it's
one?
right up
No,
there.
no.
Yeah. I think
Oh, the
Lion might
metal
argue with you,
one.
but we're
You've
talking
had him
top
since
3.
college.
Oh my god,
and,
that one?
Yeah,
What's his
everything
name?
you'd expect from this
Darth?
iconic
I
hero
don't know,
of the
but he was
Imperial
the chapter
Fists
master
chapter.
of the
Nice to see a helmeted
Imperial
option in
Fists.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
they're taking the,
If you don't want to paint a face, and sometimes you just want to get him on the
I don't
battlefield.
remember
nice
that
and
being
fast.
his first
Yeah,
name,
I mean,
but
if
I
it wasn't
like
yellow, I
that
don't
does
know, I
make
might find it
sense.
easy to
Because
paint
I was
the
like,
face,
why
to be
does
honest.
Lysander sound familiar? Because
He
yeah,
is
I
not.
have
The
because I
only
got
there are
him
5 of them
alongside
altogether. So
my
next up we have Canog
my
Gra, a
Pedro
new
Cantor.
character
Yes.
for the Iron
Got
Hands
it.
chapter. This is the captain of the Averni clan.
Yeah. The equivalent to your kind of captain of the first company.
Yeah.
Again, a Terminator in the same scale as the recent
I like the little projection.
new
that
Terminator
the-
kits. Some really lovely
Servo
little
is
features on
doing.
here, really leaning into the kind of Iron Hands
Kinda
lore.
cute.
You've got lots of nods towards his technological know-how and their kind of alliance with the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah, he's got sort of servo skulls attached by data tethers, sort of conjuring information. Look at the one on the bottom right-hand corner. He looks like he's projecting a Fortress of Redemption.
Yeah, he's got like a little holograph of
I mean, they're obviously
perhaps a
updated.
building that they're planning to besiege.
And I think my favourite thing on this model is actually the power maul, which is shaped after a Tetsubo, not a weapon you're used to seeing, and it just really works on this guy. Sort of straightforward, practical, extremely brutal. Next up, and I think for many people this will be the sort of
this one's cool, guys.
the model which fires your imagination. The Raven Guard have a new chapter
Oh,
master.
Absolutely
shit, that
love
is
this guy.
sick.
So the new chapter master of the Raven Guard. And you might be saying, Eddie, they already have a chapter master. What happened to Shrike? Shrike has led the Raven Guard for some years, but has decided that actually his place is better in the shadows as the captain of stealth assaults, and he has left Etheon Shan to lead the Raven Guard as
so
their,
the new
their
Raven
figurehead
Guard
and their
chapter
commander.
master.
And the miniature is absolutely
That's sick
phenomenal. We
looking.
very recently had Logan Grimnar released. I think only this last weekend. And this continues the tradition of having just an absolutely phenomenal,
Nos,
cool
you're like,
looking
wow, okay,
chapter
maybe
master
not.
miniature.
Yeah, he's redolent in sort of the imagery
Oh,
of the
no
Raven
problem,
Guard,
Starfury. My
chapters
pleasure
you'd
to do
expect
this
to
stream.
see. There's
I always like
those
being able to
sort
do
of
these. I actually
tassels
wasn't
that
sure I
sort
was
of
going to be able to do
dangle
it
from
because
him with these sort of
originally I
secret
thought the
runic
stream
scripts
was
of
on
deliverance. It's got
Saturday,
feathers
not
and
on
fetishes
Friday.
and
claws.
it's got
And
three
the
head
Saturday and
options.
Sunday I'm going to be at
Aethon
Open Sauce,
Shan
so I
is
won't be
a
online at all
really
much.
just tremendous
And
sentimental piece of
I
art,
also
and
thought
think the
originally I
Raven
might
Guard
be at Open
fans
Sauce
out
on
there are
Friday. I
gonna
wasn't
be
100%
delighted
sure if it was
by, what he presents.
the public days then or if it was
there's one more.
the industry days and I didn't get an industry
Sabodin
ticket.
Khan, he is the
Oh,
first captain
dude,
of the White Scars
that's
chapter.
sick.
So he leads its first company on
Nice,
this
even
just
new White
mighty
Scars.
looking grav bike. It's got a Gatling cannon mounted into the front. He's just the perfect embodiment of that White Scars.
You think the
hero
Iron Hands guy
huntsman
had a
archetype.
rumor engine?
Yeah,
Got it.
very, very cool. There's all sorts of beautiful Chigorian details on him there. You can see the kind of pattern on the front of the jet bike is very reminiscent of some of their Heresy
Yeah, it'd be
era
nice
designs
if
on
they
their dreadnoughts and
actually
things like
gave,
that.
like,
We've
you
got
know,
the model
full
with us in a
army
second. We'll have
releases
a look
for
at it, but
people, like, get the
there's
Raven
some
Guard or
beautiful
the
detail on the
Iron
back.
Hands
He's
or
got kind of
something, or-
Chigorian shields and sheaths and decapitated enemy heads and stuff like that. It is just the most White Scars
Really,
looking
any
thing
of the
you've
ones that
ever
are sort of
seen.
neglected-
Fits
neglected a
beautifully
lot.
in an army if you've got lots of outriders and fast moving
It
stuff.
is a great grab bike, isn't
It's been quite a long
Very,
wait
very
for
cool
the White
looking.
Scars
Yeah,
to have
absolutely.
a character on a bike,
The
and
characters
it's
have
well worth
traditionally
it.
had to walk, haven't they? So not anymore. Really beautiful. How do I get my hands on these? You say there's some questions to answer there. There's a series of combat patrols coming out. Listen carefully, and I'll explain the one piece of nuance to this. Sabodin Khan is in the White Scars combat patrol. You see it here. It's 3 outrider bikes, an intercessor assault
Is
squad,
he
a
only
transport,
in
and
the
Sabodin
combat
Khan.
patrol? Because if
He
so,
will be
that's
available
shit.
separately not that long after the release of this combat patrol.
Okay, good.
He's the only one of these new heroes that comes inside a combat patrol. The others are available separately, but here are the combat patrols that
Okay.
come out with them. So you have an Imperial Fist combat patrol, just full of heavily armored Imperial Fist troops.
Okay.
You've got
Looks
Terminators and a command group, and it just looks wonderful. Next
Wait,
up,
so-
Iron Hands, heavy intercessors,
Why
heavy
did you-
weapons,
GW, why
everything
did you
might
produce
expect from
the-
these tough, durable warriors.
Why did you
of the
make
Iron
one of
Hands
the
chapter.
new characters
the
come
Raven
in
Guard,
a box, but
bit
none
more
of the
Fast
other
and
ones
Phobos.
do?
Yeah, fast.
way to
That's
do it.
good. I like that. That was strong. Yeah, they're going to get in amongst it much faster. Imagine Aethon Shan.
That doesn't
leading
make
those will be
sense.
tremendous. But what if you just
Especially when
carry
you're
all the
literally
flames
making
all
a
the time?
Salamanders, a
Every
Raven's
model in
Guard,
this entire combat
an
patrol
Iron
has something
Hands,
that makes
a
you hot.
White Scar.
Either
what?
a melter gun or a flamethrower
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
I think there's some assault intercessors who maybe
What?
ruin my
Does that not make
attempt at
sense?
predicting it. But do you know
never
what?
mind.
That is a lot of flamer and or melter, and I think you can excuse us. for being
Some new
like that.
transfers in those kits as well. Adam, I know you were a very big fan of that when we were looking
just,
through.
hit
kits.
on my like secret nerd part of Warhammer. I get really excited by transfer sheets. I can't do freehand to save my life, but I can stick a decal on with the best of them. Each of these will come with its own transfer sheet, which means that you can apply all the details of the heraldry and everything. And there's loads of cool extras on those. Case in point, the Imperial Fist one has some decals that do Crimson Fists. So if you were a fan of the Crimson Fists successors, then you
You're
can
supporting
fill
my
your bricks.
Crimson
We'll
Fists?
show you those ahead of time so you can sort of
That's
plan
so
your purchases
cool.
and your painting experiences as we get closer.
But yeah, that's
to
like really bizarre,
these.
right?
Yeah,
like,
I-
why would you do?
Yeah, I've got some of the.
Hey, we're gonna put
the
this one
miniatures
guy
right
in the
here.
combat
We've
patrol.
got some
but
kind of plastic
fuck
stuff so you can see
we're
the
not gonna
scale of
put
them.
him in any of the other
We've
ones,
also
even
got
though we are gonna
some
sell
of the new
all of them
miniatures. So
separately.
if we start off over here with
Oh,
the
there we go.
Raven Guard side, I brought along a assault
Regular
intercessor sergeant. It's not a small model by any stretch of the imagination, but you sort of get a sense of how big the new chapter master
Okay,
of the
so
Raven
we've
Guard is. There, he's
seen
on
a lot
a
of
big base.
40K,
And he's going to be quite an
we've seen
intimidating
Horus Heresy,
character. Certainly going to be the largest
Legions
of your insta models.
Imperialis,
Probably standing not
Underworlds.
far off the height of a Redemptor Dreadnought at the top of his base there.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Black
You see, you
Library
may have a tactical rock
nonsense.
to sort of raise him up a little. But Darneth
an
Lysander
outrageous
is such
claim
a
that you can
brute
start with the
that,
new book and
he's
not
not that
the
much
original
shorter
three
than either of the
of
two
the-
models you just mentioned.
what
He
even?
really
Okay.
is very dominating. And then Sabodin Khan next to an Outrider. First of all, check out the sort of similarities between the
I
stylings,
feel like
the sort of
combat patrols
the shape of the
for
bike, very
Marines
sort of reminiscent of the things that you see on
tend to
the
be,
Outrider. But
because
if
I
you spin it
feel
round-
like I don't know. I just
There
feel
are
like they're
so
never
many
the
lovely
best.
details on this. I really like the shield. There's some sheaths. There's some extra weapons. There's like as well as having loads of lovely detail. There's also loads of space if you want to do some like Chigorian freehand or something like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I think that's going to be up there with the Golden Demons.
The
and
first
things.
time you like the
people
tactical
choose
rock?
Yeah,
That's
so and
fair.
see what people
Really
do
That
with
is
it.
fair. No, it's a
So,
very it's super fucking
there we are.
cool.
Space Marine characters.
Surely that's all the Space Marine we have time for.
So you say that, but there is a little bit more Space Marine on the way.
My God, even
This
more
one's really
Space
exciting for
Marines.
me,
Have you guys not had your
because,
big beefy man Phil yet?
I got to help a little bit on the team that have brought this to life. I am over the moon to present the first ever officially licensed wearable Space Marine helmet.
Oh my
This
God,
is the
what?
Lieutenant Titus Mark 10 helmet made by Joy Toy. If you've not heard of Joy Toy, where have you been
That's
hiding?
so cool!
Joy Toy make beautiful action figures
want
under license from
one.
Games Workshop. They do Warhammer 40,000
Oh
ones,
my
and they do Warhammer Age of Sigmar ones,
God!
and they do Warhammer the Horus Heresy ones, and now they have made this incredible helmet. It's just really something.
That's actually really fucking cool.
I can talk about some of its features. Inside, it's got an adjustable
That's so
sort of headband, so you
cool.
can change it to fit your head. What that means is that unless you've got the teeniest, tiniest of heads, like a small child or a grot, you should be able to make it fit. I have the most preposterous, like, potato head
I
imaginable.
think I'm going to say what
Yeah,
everyone's
I wanna
thinking,
see
which
him
is
put
just
it on.
Adam.
Yeah,
Just
I
put it
will.
on the side.
But before I do,
They
so
made-
this is the
Joy Toy's
prototype
making
that
a
we've
wearable
been,
Titus
sort of
helmet.
working with them on.
And he's
before I
about to
do, I'm
put it
gonna
on
flip
his
a
head, so I
switch,
wanna see,
'cause
like,
we're
it
under very
fits.
bright studio lights. But inside, can you see the illuminated? A little bit. There's some really great pictures that you'll be able to see
No,
later.
it is Joy
But
Toy.
I feel like a Space Marine already. This is
I
just.
feel
You
like I'm
sound
standing next to Space Marine.
immensely better.
I mean,
What
it's
the
never
fuck?
felt
Leave
so
the
good to
helmet
feel
on.
like Lieutenant Titus. So the lenses inside illuminate. You can buy it with
Oh my
this
God, that's
lovely
so
display stand as well. This is the Mark 10 helmet stand. It looks like something straight out of
You have to- I
a battle
think you have to buy
barge
it
or
with
a
this, so
Fortress
this might be a
Monastery
sold
cell where a
separately.
Space Marine might put his war gear when he's finished on
No, we
campaign.
will. I want
It's
one.
your choice
I
whether
want
you
one
want
so
to
badly.
get the helmet separately or with
I
that.
want one
but
so badly.
I've had this in my office for quite a while and it looks really cool. When
No, that
can
makes
you
sense.
get your
Like 3D
hand on it,
printers,
I
of
guess is
course,
the
have been doing
question.
it for
When
ages.
can I get my
But
hands on it?
like,
I'm glad you asked.
it's really cool that they're
the
making
answer is,
actually an official
when
one,
this
though, like
preview
a
show is done,
licensed one.
the pre-orders begin. So you will be able to
I
go
do,
to
yes, please make a
warhammermerch.com,
sororitas helmet. I
and
want a
pre-order
sororitas
it.
helmet,
So
please.
yeah, I'm just
One
over the
step
moon
closer
to see
to being
this
a true
in the
sister
flesh,
battle.
in real world. Very, very exciting. We're still not done with Warhammer 40,000.
Okay,
we
what
need
else
to go
you got?
to Kill Team, to the Kill Team.
Ah, this is where our Necrons were.
A Geomancer.
Against Death Blocks, it looks like. Yep.
Guilty.
Yep. Look at the Tomb World terrain.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That's sick.
So,
wow, that
an
was
amazing,
a super
an amazing new box for Kill Team, a new expansion, 2 brand new kill teams, a new kill zone,
Too many
some
dwarves. Did you miss
incredible
anything
miniatures.
cool?
Let's
Yeah, look
take
at this
a
new
look.
Kill
This
Team
is
set.
Kill Team 2
Look at that
World.
fucking
You get
Necron,
absolutely
like,
loads in
wall
this
terrain.
box.
It's
I
just
love it.
bursting with cool
This
stuff. Right?
might be the best Kill Team box we've released. It's
bold
way up
claim,
there,
and
isn't
I
it?
struggle
It's
to
up there.
argue.
It's
Love
up there.
it.
There's some beautiful stuff in here. I mean, if we talk about the battlefield first, you've got some absolutely amazing Necron scenery in a little bit like the Into the Dark scenery we saw
Yeah, absolutely.
a little while back. It certainly
Harlequins
allows you
get
to play
such little
games
love,
in that same sort of
unfortunately,
style.
Nas,
Doesn't replace it
like-
necessarily, but allows you to play that kind of close
But I feel ya.
confines, up close
I
battles.
feel ya. Dude,
And
Harlequins
really
in Kill
thematic.
Team would
You've
also
got
be
the kind
really
of
fun.
undead
Great
Necron
place
crypts
to,
as
like,
the warriors wake from their
start
eons
bringing
long
in some new
slumber.
models for them.
But the kill teams themselves are probably where
I
the
like the
real
Necron
excitement
terrain
is.
a lot. I'm not gonna
if
lie.
we start
It's
off
so
with
cool.
the Death Watch kill team, this is the return of the original kill
Ooh.
team. The name kill team itself comes from the concept of Death Watch, and they have come out with an amazing
Honestly,
new
they look
range
good.
of
The
miniatures.
sculpts look
There are
great.
10 of these guys in the box. You can build them in a whole range
get
of
a
different
close-up
ways,
on the
and there are
screaming
some
guy's
lovely
face? I
features.
need to
Adam, have you got any
inspect.
favourites from
I
the
mean,
mix there?
for me, I'm all about the big firepower, right? So, sort of bottom right,
that
you have
guy
a
have
flesh terrier
fangs?
holding a frag
The blonde
cannon.
guy?
Because
Okay,
that's the best way to
there's
greet
three
the
blonde
Xenos, right?
guys. Let me correct.
yeah,
The
you
blonde
can't
guy
really
in the
go wrong.
lower half of the
I
screen.
called him out as a flesh terrier because I happen to know he is. One of the things that's really
Oh, 'cause he's
striking
got
about this set
fangs!
is that there's loads of different heraldic
Yay!
devices
All right,
available.
I was
Quite
correct.
obscure chapters.
All right, so
as
let's
well.
look at
I
an
mean, so flesh
ultramarine,
terriers
a
are perhaps not obscure,
space
but
wolf,
they're not
a flesh
necessarily what you
terror,
might expect.
obviously.
For example,
Imperial
top centre,
Fist,
that's
I'm
a
guessing,
member of
with
the
the
Wolf
yellow
Spears,
and
which
red
is one
over
of the
there,
few
and
successes to the
then
Space Wolf chapter.
Templar?
You've got an ultramarine on the right-hand side. The crossed swords on the one bottom left, I think, is probably making him a guardian of the
I
Covenant.
think you might be
But,
right. You might be right.
and
I
as
would've
a
done
Dark
that.
Angels collector, that's quite exciting.
We had a fun game earlier on where we tried to guess all the
Flesh
different
terror
chapters.
guy.
Yeah.
It's
Red
got
Scorpion
fangs.
in there as well. You can't quite make him out. But
There's 5 more that you can see here. So if you see any that are a chapter that you're interested in, shout them out in the chat. I think the top middle guy is going to get some attention because there's a lot of fans for those guys. Loads of options, loads of different specializations for your kill team to be built with.
Salamanders.
They really are the personification of pick
Okay,
the right
that's the
weapon for the
Imperial
job when you
Fist.
start your game.
And when you play kill team, the way that this
Some-
any kill team works is that you
It's
have
kind
a
of Space
roster of
Wolf,
different
right?
warriors, and then you can choose the ones you want before your
The
game
wolf
starts.
spears?
You get
Okay.
10 models in this box to make your kill team. You've got
It's a
loads of
successor
different options,
chapter?
and then you
Wonder
choose
if
before
most
each
of
game.
these
Your kill
are
team in
successor
game will be
chapters.
5 of those warriors, and you can
Yeah.
pick any 5 you want.
Okay, no, he's definitely just Imperial
Check
Fist.
it out with the underslung grenade launcher and all of the grenades just in the harness.
It's great to see a mix of Gravis and Phobos and
Yeah,
Tacticus as
absolutely.
well.
They do
that's
look all
a
Primaris,
Gravis,
yes.
effectively a heavy intercessor archetype, but he's even more upgunned than you might expect a normal heavy intercessor to be, which have already got quite big guns. In game terms, the Death Watch have got all sorts of specialist Xenos killing kit.
I do
but
love
one
the
of their
Death Watch
things is
specific
effectively
pauldron
in each turning
with all
point
the
you can
text
choose
on
one
it.
of them to use a special
looks
piece of ammunition,
freaking
and you
cool.
can basically pick a special rule for that gun to have. So it can be
Unbelievable.
blast or precision or extra AP or something like that. So that a kind of quite long-standing concept of them having the ammunition to do exactly the job you need them to do makes its way into kill team, as well as them just being pretty good all-round Space Marines, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But they're not the only thing in the kit, although you might excuse our enthusiasm for thinking so. There's also the
Necrons!
Canoptic Circle. These are the Necron
the
guardians of this
Geomancer.
tomb
He's cool
complex.
looking.
Essentially, their job has been to oversee
I
the
also like
reanimation
whatever
protocols
these
of all of the
kinda
Necrons that you see in these
fat-butted,
alcoves. We'll show you some more of the terrain in a bit.
very
and
large
so,
canoptic scarab
these are
thingies are.
the sentinels that are ready to now sort of attack the interlopers.
Yeah,
the
and they were just going
Imperial
about their
impression.
business, waking up all the Necrons, and all of a sudden
Unsleeping
this very
Necron
rude kill
sentinels,
team of
huh?
Deathwatch burst into their crypt and decided to start wrecking up the place. So they've had to mobilize against them. It is a very powerful kill team.
Why not just
this
call
is
them
the
awakened?
Canoptic Circle. It is
Necron
led by a
Sentinels or
Geomancer,
something,
which is
as
a type
opposed
of
to
cryptet.
unsleeping.
That's the model you can see there. She is the leader of the
Like,
warband.
what?
She definitely kind of is the core of the
That's kinda
force, right?
weird.
So
And she's big and powerful.
she's
Yeah,
big
right?
and powerful. Yeah, she
Look at your
alone
naming
can take on
conventions.
a Space Marine.
I
but
don't quite
the other
understand.
troops in her force need her to kind of be at the center to kind of coordinate the efforts. You've got a few different other models in the mix there as well. As the Geomancer, you have
yes, floating tactical rocks.
remind me of the names of these.
The larger thing on the left-hand side with the big guns on the top is the tomb crawler.
Yep.
Then sort of the right hand, and there's another one sort of central to the right-hand side. Then the smaller things, they are your reanimators or your warriors. So normally, day to day, they'd just be pooling around,
They
making
were
sure everything's safe and
unsleeping.
well. They'd be reanimating some Necrons, but when the Death Watch come knocking,
The next time I arise from
they
sleep,
leap
I will
into
say I am
action.
Yeah,
unsleeping.
the
now.
crawlers have got some particularly formidable weaponry, right? So like they're up against the Deathwatch kill team. So the guns on those can take out a Space Marine if they get a good solid round of firepower. They
Yeah,
are one
absolutely.
of the you've got your kind of central character which does all the kind of
Never-napping
utility
boys.
stuff.
I see.
Then you've got 2 really good solid gun
I see, so they
platforms,
just
and then
never
you've got the rest
sleep at
of
all.
the force which whizzes around and does the
I
objective
understand.
taking stuff.
It's not that they
So
were
it's a really
woken
flexible
up. It's
little
just that
kill
they
team.
don't sleep.
Also worth
period.
pointing out that the box has a bunch of Necron warriors.
Yep.
Why does it have a bunch of Necron warriors, you might ask? They're not in the kill team. Well,
They
one
power
of the other
down
things
every
that you
now
get
and then,
inside
right?
this
Highly
box
caffeinated.
is rules
They're just
for
constantly
playing
full of
basically
caffeine.
co-op missions where you both play as Deathwatch and you're up against hordes, undying hordes of Necron warriors. As they
Joint
kinda cool.
operations is
Co-op
super
missions in
fun,
the game?
and the chance to do this as a Deathwatch kill team, sort of stalking around a Necron, awakening Necron tomb complex is almost too appealing to say no to.
and just a great other way of playing the game.
I'm going to totally jump on it. Have a look around this board, and you can see in some of those alcoves there
They're
are those
really grumpy.
reanimating Necrons and stuff.
I mean, I would be
Weird
too.
portals
Yeah,
and
it's
glyphs
just
and all sorts of stuff.
replete
Yeah.
with cool imagery. There's fallen masonry.
I was trying to
you
have a
can
nice
imagine
casual
they've
day,
been
not
asleep for
sleeping,
so
and
long
then
that,
somebody interrupted
seismic
that.
events, whatever, of course, needs to fall down. Plus, and or maybe the wolf spear and everything with his hammer. Yeah, this is going to be just peak Warhammer.
What else do
adventures
you think
in,
they have?
a
Like, I
team
feel like they
complex. I love
should
it.
be ending soon, but
And of course, both of these kill teams will be usable in Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll be a way to use your Deathwatch in that game as well, and your new Necrons. And of course, there is a new book, a new dossier
The
that
Tesseract
comes with this,
glow is
which has
actually just
all the
Mountain
rules
Dew.
you
My
need to play
God,
these in your game.
it makes
Yeah,
so
let's have a
much
look at some of them in the
sense.
flesh. It comes in a box. There you go. Let's have a look at some of these in the flesh. In particular, it'd be good to get the Geomancer in because that gives a
let's
sense
have
of
a
the
look at the
scale.
scale.
So my favourite with the frag cannon, but when you put the Geomancer in here, square enough. There we go. So there's some like narrative around the events here, which is quite cool. We were having a read. So when we learned that the Geomancer was in fact a lady. If you haven't already twigged yet, this is a raptor. This guy. Check him out.
Stop
So you get a nice
whispering
mix
unless
of
you're going to do it
scale,
directly into your
from,
microphone.
Obviously, the Geomancer and the Reanimators on the sides. Loads of stuff to feast on. This is going to be a very exciting time for Kill Team. I think the Deathwatch are very popular with lots of fans, and they're so iconic within the concept of Kill Team. You
Yeah,
know,
I think wouldn't be
So
an
there
exaggeration
wasn't
to say
actually
the most
more
requested
then,
kill
unless
team,
they count
since
the Black
concept of
Library
kill team,
announcement, I guess, is
was sort
the
of
more
re-emerged
in their
into
list.
yeah,
consciousness.
absolutely.
because they've covered basically
Right.
everything they said they would.
I think we've done it.
I think we've done it.
We're around the 90-minute mark. I did say it would be a long one, but we've shown you all of our Warhammer previews. We should go to question corner. That was good prompt. Well done, Simon. There's probably a question or three, right?
There's quite a few. Yeah. Do you want some rapid fire ones to get you going?
Hit us. Let's see what we can do.
We're within 12.
Are they
let's go.
actually?
So
So do we
start
think
off-
they're going to
right.
have
Are the new
one
Team
final
King
like?
minis resident
Actually,
plastic?
just
Right.
kidding.
Plastic.
Here's
Multi-part
one final
plastic.
preview, or do you think
Let's
they're
go
actually
with
done?
the Kill Team Tomb World. Is the new Necron terrain similar in dimension to the Gallodark terrain?
It is similar.
yeah.
I don't think it's exactly the same.
Yeah, Gallo Dark would be a good reference point.
So we've got Warhammer Underworlds. Will the new warbands or any of the re-released Grand Alliance warbands be receiving rules to use them in Warhammer Age of Sigmar?
I believe you can use all of them in Age of Sigmar, can't you? I don't want to. Certainly.
Well,
I'm
not-
not. I'm not
That
going
does
to
seem like a
commit. There you
weird
go.
question. I
Show
feel
my
like they
face as a
are-
base
are
of
all
non-committal.
Underworlds stuff
One thing that is
usable
worth
in
saying
Age of
is that
Sigmar?
quite a lot of the new battle tomes have a place for the Warhammer Underworlds warbands as
Dude,
generic.
if they actually did a new
archetypes of
Harlequin
that
release
thing.
like
So
box,
the
that would
Doomspike Gits, for
blow
example,
everybody's
has got a
mind.
place
They're
for
not
the,
going to.
the
not
wolf.
I think that's a more
afraid.
That's
comprehensive
probably-
answer.
that's
Eddie,
probably
well
the
played.
way. The
But
place
I
that you'll
don't.
find it.
My hopes are not
yeah,
high for
that's
that.
fair.
Is all I'm saying.
The Hellsmiths are going into Warcraft. We said that already. We have
Yes,
said that.
yeah.
Well done us.
So
been a long 9 minutes.
the Adepts Astartes ones we've just seen. Does Subadin Khan have a helmeted option?
He does have a helmeted option.
Very cool.
Although I think
Safety first.
any adherence to health and safety would be an absolute abomination when you're riding free in the wind.
You
like the
might
White
be
Star.
right.
Maybe
Riding
Satan Shard
in-
would have been cool.
A vacuum. At
No,
which point
no,
you're probably
just
allowed.
hold your breath.
Just
Get on with it. Yeah.
Okay,
They've got
cool.
You don't
reinforced
think
skulls and
Harlequins
so
are
on.
ever going to get a refresh?
So where can we expect to see the
I mean, they
lore
have
and
kind
rules
of
for the shiny new character?
Been doing some
That
weird
is a
things
great
with the
question.
elves as a whole, haven't they?
The rules will be available online.
So some of the rules, if the character is being re-released, already exist
Yeah,
in Codex
that's true.
Space Marine.
So Darnath, Lysander,
yeah,
covered off
Vulcan and
already.
Lysander are already there. The other rules will be available online.
And I'm really glad you asked about the lore because I know a thing. Phil Kelly from the Warhammer 40,000 lore team came and had a chat with me, and they've written full background for each of these characters and narrative stories, which we'll be hosting on Warhammer Community in the week leading up to their release when that happens. I'm super excited because I don't know anything about Aethon Shan and I want to learn his story. So yes, there we go.
Awesome. So we've got
he's not
two
even
more
in-
quick ones
he's
if we
not
can.
even in
So
the combat
the
patrol,
Horus Heresy
though.
Age of Darkness. Are some of the wargate options that are currently no longer available to certain units ever going to be revisited?
So that's a good question. So we do know that there will be more things released in plastic across the course of this edition. With some of those plastic kits, you may see wargear options returning that have previously been available.
I am
you might
actually
also
kind of
see some
worried about
wargear
that, which
options
is
that have
such a
never
shame
existed
because the
before
Harlequins
added
are
to
so
those units.
cool.
So hopefully
And
that
frankly,
answers some of
like
the
one of the coolest
Right.
characters in
One
the
last
Rogue
one
Trader
was on the
series was the
scouring.
Harlequin character.
How many books can we
If you've
expect
not
to see
played
this
Rogue
week?
Trader,
At least one.
you'll enjoy
because
it.
it's got the number one on the
Especially if
side
you
of it.
enjoy
I don't want to steal the
Dark
thunder of
Eldar
any
and
future
Harlequins.
sort of news from Black Library other than to announce it today. But what they have told us, and it was one of the best conversations of my professional life ever to sit down with the editing team from Black Library as they sort of poured the scouring lore into my open brain, was this is a multi-book, multi-author series, and so you're going to be following it for some years to come.
Grand.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Well, there's bazillions more questions that I couldn't possibly get to. They're scrolling past so quick. It's all I could do to find the ones I got. But yeah, thanks.
That's great. What remains, I guess, at this
How
point
do
in
you
the
think they
juncture
choose
is,
the
first of all,
questions?
to thank all of you for tuning in and spending
sometimes I
90
feel like they
minutes
pick
of
stupid
brilliant
questions
Warhammer
to
fun with us.
ask.
I've really enjoyed myself.
I had a great time. I always have a great time.
Awesome.
Like,
There's some
really,
like,
like
general
questions that were
housekeeping to
kind
do.
of like
If
just
you've missed
reinforcing
anything
information they
in
already
this
gave.
and you
Maybe
want
that's why
to
I
know
could like.
more,
Maybe that's why
go
they
to
picked them, because they just want to
warhammercommunities.com,
reinforce the
read the
information they already
articles
gave.
that are there on the
But-
website. There's pictures. There's more information than Eddie and I would have remembered to tell you. And you can watch the videos back as well. If you are looking for more Warhammer excitement right now in your life, we're going to throw back to Tacoma, where there's Warhammer 40,000 tournament taking place. I believe right now is what we're going back to.
I think.
You can hang around here, especially on the Twitch channel. I believe that is true.
I'm
What
gonna
else is
wait.
there to
You're
say?
absolutely welcome for
the
hosting.
helmet.
It was my
Go and
pleasure.
find it on
So let me, as we're wrapping up,
warhammermerch.com.
as these guys are rambling and wrapping up, I'm gonna
Yeah,
lower their
sounds
volume
about
a little bit.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you, Simon, for asking questions.
What was your favorite
Thanks for
reveal?
the crew
What
who
did you
made it all
guys
work.
like the most
Eddie, it's been a
seeing
pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
of
We can't
what
wait
we
to
got
see
to
you again
see?
next time. Take care.
Goodbye. All right, so there is no final review or anything.
No final, like, and 11th edition!
Yeah, like nothing like that, sadly. They did not do anything cool like that. I am not new to Warhammer. I just want to go to your news. I would like to explore your news, please. No, I don't want to go. Oh my god. Warhammer. I just want to go to your main page. Thank you. Oh my god, I can't believe how long we sat on this image. It was like a solid 2 to 3 minutes, I swear. Maybe I'm being a little over ridiculous with that, but I feel like it was. So I'm curious what your guys' favorite thing in the preview actually was. Honestly, there was a lot of interesting stuff. Like, I wasn't fully blown away by anything in particular. I think me personally, but they did have some really good stuff. I do like the Chaos Dwarves might be the highlight for me. They did look really cool.
From
The
what
bull-
I've seen over your shoulder, yes.
Yeah, the bull. I actually do really like these guys. This Underworlds kit looked really fun. But where are the Chaos Dwarves? I want to look at them more. There we go. Load in. There we go. Look at him. He's so good. What a big bull, man. It's gonna look at him. Very, very cool. So yeah, I think for me, it was the Chaos Dwarf announcement. They just look sick. I really like the designs. It's the first thing that's come out for Age of Sigmar where I look at it and go, this feels like the old world. And I really enjoy that. And legitimately, and I do actually very much enjoy that. I also just love what they're doing with this chaotic energy that they're putting into these things, all these engines that they're building. What is these? Excuse me, sorry.
Bless you.
My goodness. But yeah, I really think these guys are cool. The Titus helmet was very cool. Yes, that announcement was fun. The Raven Guard model is one that you liked in the Necron stuff. The Bull Golem cannon. Yeah, no, he's just so good. He's just so good. And he's got the double, cannon arms. Who needs fists when you've got cannon arms? It's great. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for me this evening. Or this afternoon. Thank you guys so much for joining me for a relatively long Warhammer preview. I hope
Tune in for tomorrow's tutorial.
Yes, tune in tomorrow, where I'll be showing you how to paint up Warhammer 40k's greatest swordsman, the sexiest space marine alive, Lucius the Eternal. I am so excited for this video to come out. I am very happy with how Lucius turned out. So I'm hoping you guys will be hyped for it. It's going to be a fun one. And if you enjoy a little bit of the spicier content, you'll get a smidge of that in that video. So hope you guys enjoy. See you guys tomorrow for the video release, and I will be back streaming next week on Tuesday. I will be gone for the remainder of the weekend at Open Sauce, doing some filming and everything. But thank you guys for being here. It was lovely to hang out. I hope you guys had fun. I know I did. I always enjoy these things. And to all of my members who were in chat and hanging out, whether you were active talking or just hanging out, or my patrons as well, it was lovely to have you guys with us. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support. And until next time, I've been Angela. Have a wonderful hobby night, everybody. Bye.